What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I am one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Hi, everyone.
You've been gone for a while. I haven't hung out with you. I've taken to calling you the scumbag, Nick Scarpino.
The scumbag?
Yeah.
Because I've been gone because I went down to LA.
No, what happened is we put up a video last week about fucking goats.
Yeah.
And this struck a chord with our listeners and fans. They enjoyed the
hilarity. Very polarizing issue.
On what you would do. Everyone
Right.
enjoyed the hilarious conversation, I'm told. However, our friend Jenny Ostertag, she tweeted, "Oh my God, with all that's good and holy, Nick married us."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at this point, I started telling the people the story of, I don't understand how she didn't know you were a scumbag.
Oh no, she knew.
Doesn't seem like it. It seems like you pulled the wool over her eyes.
I'm a lovable scumbag.
That's true. You're our scumbag.
No, they straight up told me, like, before they got married, I was like, guys, I'm super honored to do this. And they're like, just so you know, we know you're a little scummy, but we still love you anyway.
They never said that.
They didn't say any of that stuff. I looked really good at their wedding, though. I wore like an
You
amazing
looked
blue
awesome
suit.
at that wedding.
Yeah, that was a fun wedding.
Yeah, that was
Austin,
a really
Texas.
good wedding.
Did you wear your priest outfit?
I did. Underneath my...
With the collar?
I just wear the collar.
These little black broods.
That's my priest outfit.
That
I'll
other
wear it for you
voice.
later.
The Pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good.
By the way, it's the Pride of Long Island.
What did I say?
There was some go back
people
and forth on
tweeting
Twitter.
that thought
Pride of Long Island.
Pride of Long Island, like Pride along.
Along Island. Someone's like, why do they? It wasn't on Twitter. It was on YouTube. Someone was like, why do they call him the Pride along Island?
Oh my God.
So I was like, because he likes to go on islands.
Long Island is the Long Island.
Where you hail from.
The Pride of Long Island.
And then at the very end, rounding it out, the pure one, Tim Gettys.
Let Tim host. I'm
Let
a little
Tim
upset
host.
right now.
What's wrong?
I forgot to put my shoes on, so now I feel naked.
And you also forgot to get a Mexican
I
Coke.
did. I'm just messing
Everything you know is wrong.
But you remember to wear your sweet double jacket.
Yes.
/
I
hoodie.
did. It's really cold in here, and I like this jacket.
You know how
You're
hot
not going to be cold for
people
long.
give me so much shit
I like
whenever
your
I
jacket.
decide to wear leather jackets. I like leather jackets. I'm gonna wear leather jackets.
It's not that we're just giving you
leather,
shit
some bullshit.
because we're afraid of what Jax and the rest of the Sons of Anarchy are going to do when they show up.
Yes.
Well, that's
Really?
really
They're
weird.
not gonna be nice.
I was gonna go with the rest of NSYNC. When does the rest of NSYNC?
NSYNC doesn't wear leather
Look
jackets.
at him. He's got the
98
built-in
degrees.
hoodie. Rotate a little to the group. You've got the built-in hoodie, which looks like an outfit they'd wear on Sons. Like, don't get me wrong, he's too pretty to be Sons. It's not. He'd be the one they'd all like pistol whip because he'd show up and be like, "What's up?"
I get
They'd be
Sucks about
secret.
Opie, and they'd be like, "Ugh."
I don't watch Sons of Anarchy.
Really good.
But if Tim were in it, I'd
it's
watch
really
it.
good and then bad and been good and it's
Yeah.
all over. It's really fun.
Was the guy from that the guy that was supposed to be gray and
Yes.
50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah, he was in the robot movie.
Right. Oh, Pacific Rim.
Prometheus. Oh, okay.
Did not like that one.
Let me just real quick, let me
wasn't
interject because you're talking about Sons of Anarchy, which is a
Please
show
do.
I watched for a couple seasons. Very good. Just want to say something, it might be a little controversial before we get into the topics. I've been watching Breaking Bad. I'm in the 3rd season.
Oh.
Not as amazing as everyone makes it out to be. It's
Really?
a good show.
Yeah.
It's a good show, but I'm not like fucking blown. Like everyone talks about it, like they talk about The Wire or Sopranos. Or
Well,
it's not even remotely as good as
See,
those
I think
shows.
it was better than The Wire.
Here's the thing: is everything builds on
yeah.
top of each other, though. By the, you know what I mean? Like it's all one thing that like it gets faster and faster and more out of control.
Don't spoil anything for me, but because I don't want to know what happens. Obviously, I know how it ends. I saw the last scene of the show when you were watching.
Sure. That's too bad.
But it's kind of obvious when you think about it makes
Aliens.
sense, full circle.
Yeah.
Alien.
But I just want to say that my girlfriend made a good observation about Breaking Bad, which is they cook and then they lose the money.
Yeah.
And then they cook.
It's like Archer.
And then they lose the money.
Yep.
And then they cook. And then it's like there's just no, like for 2.5 seasons this has been going on. They've cooked and lost the money now 4 times, I think. Not always lose, sometimes spend and need more money. But often lose the money.
Well, you have to create, the writers have to create conflict to keep people interested. And there's nothing fun about watching someone become a multi-millionaire and then retire. And so they always have to have that device that like drags him back in. And you'll watch. He tries to quit here and there, but then it becomes blatantly apparent that in reality he sabotages himself because he doesn't want to quit, because he wants to keep going down that rabbit hole because he likes who he is.
But I feel like you're right. That this is important to have the arc. But just Weeds was a show that it kind of fell off and I never even finished it because I didn't care.
I'm the same way.
But like I really love that show for the first few seasons, and that show actually goes somewhere because it's not like she sells weed and then stops and then sells weed and then stops. She just becomes more and more ingrained in that culture, and it seems like a more obvious arc. So maybe they didn't want to copy that arc, even though that's a dark comedy, not a serious drama. But
stick with
anyway, whatever. I'm gonna keep watching.
It'll turn the corner. Let us know in a few weeks what you think of everything.
See, that's my problem with Daenerys in Game of Thrones. She just gets too much shit.
Which
she
one's
wins
she?
too much.
Give me something.
She's
Dragon
the
blonde.
Thank
dragons.
you. Khaleesi is what we call her.
Sorry.
Or Dragon
She has
Lady.
too much shit. That's all I need to say.
Everybody has a nickname on
but
Game
see,
of Thrones. Their real names you can't remember.
The game is a different story though, because the game does that same thing to you, right? Are you watching? Are you watching the game?
Yeah.
So, but by the way, I believe
You're reminding me of the episode of Seinfeld where they think they're white supremacists, though. That they talk about the game.
they talk about. What I don't remember that episode. How does that?
Oh,
equate?
it's
In the limo, right?
Yeah, they don't often play it actually. I think because it's like super controversial. Where like they get into a cab or they get into a limo at the airport that's not for them, and it ends up being for two white supremacists that are giving a speech. And one of the white supremacists wrote a book called The Game.
Interesting.
And George is the white supremacist guy, and they're like, "We loved the game," and he's like, the game. You gotta pay attention to the game, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever. That in the Puerto Rican Day Parade, not often.
Yeah.
On TV. Anyway, go ahead.
God, I miss Seinfeld. The long story short with the Game of Thrones is that it's almost too much of that. Where like Daenerys is, they give her a little up, a little down. She's for the most part on the way up. But then you have these other characters that like you're in love with, and then all of a sudden they just have these horrible fortunes. And basically George R.R. Martin, is it R.R. Martin?
Mm-hmm. You know it.
There's 2 R's, right?
Yeah, for Railroad.
The Martin Railroad.
Really?
George Railroad Martin.
Badass. He loves building up characters so he can destroy them.
He's
That's
on a
his
Monopoly
thing.
board.
So it's really hard to watch that because you fall in love with these characters, and he loves just like, oh, you like this character? Boom! I just stabbed them through the freaking groin, and you're like, whoa, that was terrible. Now they're groinless. Like, that's not really a character, I don't think. Well, there might be one coming up.
There's kind of a character.
There is kind of a character like that. See, exactly. But Breaking Bad, on the other hand, you sort of just know you know by watching the series kind of where it's going to go. And that's why I think it was so good, was because you didn't want it to go there, but you knew it was gonna. There was no one on the planet that watched that and was like, this is going to end with him taking his whole family to Disneyland. And they're just going to live happily ever after, right? It was just a downward spiral from the get-go. The second he decided to do that thing, it was like, going down hardcore.
Yeah.
Just like Porty. Too many mouth noises for Colin, so he's trying to get the toy away from him.
Gotcha.
That's just gonna make him crazier.
Well, there he is. There he is.
Now there he is, everybody.
But I think also Breaking Bad was one of those shows where you had to be watching it with the rest of everyone.
Sure, for that water cooler talk.
Yeah, you had to be like, oh my god. Like there were certain episodes of Breaking Bad where you were like, can you believe? Like there are certain episodes of Game of Thrones where you're like, like that's why I don't watch Game of Thrones on any sort of delay. I watch it the second
First
it
time
airs
you can.
on the West Coast. I have to the second I can, because now that I'm quite active on the Twitter.
You are active on the Twitter now.
And people tend to spoil the crap out of everything on Twitter.
One thing that really bothered me, which is why I don't tell people when I'm watching things anymore, is because this was really insulting and hurtful. I was watching. It was just
the way you said it. Just the way.
I was watching the Killing.
And how was that, by the way?
It's not very good. Okay. The first season's really good. It's basically Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
But
that's bold.
Right, Twin Peaks is the one who killed
Sarah Palmer.
Laura
Palmer, right?
Sure.
Yeah, like whatever her name was. This is the poster of The Killing is who killed Rosie Larson.
Yeah.
So it's like about a murder, murder, and I liked it a lot. Like I liked the first season. The second season was fucking terrible. I didn't even watch the third season.
There was a third season. I didn't know there was a third season.
And I tweeted about it. I'm like, this is a really good show. And someone tweeted at me just like, da is the killer. And I'm like, why? And I was like, why would you do that? Like, why? Like, why? What kind of? And like, to my girlfriend's credit, I told her, and she's like, that's not true. And I'm like, and I was like, I don't believe you. And I looked it up, and it was true.
Yeah.
And I was like,
so you ruined the show for her then too.
No, she knew. She'd seen it already.
Yeah, I've done that before. When somebody spoils the ending, you're like, nah, it's not. They were fucking with you.
It just bothered me. I was like, why would you do that? Doesn't really ruin the show, the journey, I guess. But like, I was just like, why would you?
Yeah,
why would you want to do something like that to someone?
My favorite is the people who are on the show. I'll follow actors like for the Nashville cast, and they don't understand. They don't think about it. You know what I mean? Charles Epstein, Deacon Claiborne over on the Nashville. When Peggy died, he tweeted out a photo of her. He's like, it was great working with this person. Sorry to see her go. And everybody's like, what the fuck, dude? He's like, sorry, I didn't even think about spoilers. Just thought about the fact that I filmed this 2 months ago and I had to say goodbye to my friend.
But real quick before we move on to what the actual show is, big ups to George Railroad Martin because no one in that book in that series
to the sky like he's
big
dead.
ups.
He's not
big up. Okay. No one in that book is sacred.
1 second, everybody, big ups to R.R. Railroad Martin.
There you go.
No one is sacred. And I love that. They kill in every season. They kill at least one character that you think is untouchable. Every fucking season, and I love that.
When the Dink goes, the Greg goes. I'll tell you right now.
They
no Dinklage, no say.
I don't know if he'll ever go. He's a
him and Daenerys. They're the two.
Was
the
that
chick, the little girl. She's safe.
Arya.
Arya, yeah. She's my favorite character. I like her.
Yeah.
So I have a good friend, my good friend Eric. You guys all know him, Eric the Hitman Hart.
Getting married.
He's one of those guys that you can't say anything about the show.
Yeah.
Anything if you've seen something he hasn't seen, even if you tell him something that like is completely nonsensical. Like the other day I was like, "Oh, this happens." And I said something completely ridiculous. The whole cast gets killed by a nuclear bomb, and he's like, "Now I know they don't get killed by a nuclear bomb." And I'm like, "Get off it." Like at what point is we've talked about this. I think you guys had a whole conversation to call it.
When are spoilers okay?
When are spoilers okay? When are they okay? Ever, Tim? A week after the show airs?
Definitely. Whenever it's you, I'm just going to say they're never okay.
Why?
You go about it the worst way
spoil
possible. Like, you would go with the atomic bomb. No, I'm just playing. And then I'm not going to spoil it for you. And then you will spoil it. In your conversation,
I have a tendency to tell people the entire plot of any movie that I've seen. I'm like, I'm not going to spoil RoboCop for you, but here's what happens from start to finish. Yeah. 2 hours later, you're like, well, I'm glad I didn't see that movie.
Yeah.
Sorry. What are we talking about?
I don't know.
What is the show's all about?
Yeah, I love this. And
Craig keeps getting interrupted. I love it.
Yeah, one final thing. So my friend watched the show last week.
Just flip everything.
And he saw the episode about fast food, and he was like, "There's a Chick-fil-A in San Jose. We're fucking going." So last night we drove to San Jose and got Chick-fil-A.
You went to the one right by Five Guys?
So we tried going to that one. We ended up going to a different one. Like, that sucked.
By the way,
because I really wanted to go to
the one by NASA.
Chick-fil-A very polarizing in the comments section. Yeah. A lot of people like it. There was one individual in particular who was like, it's the worst company on the planet. They're super religious and super like I don't know.
They don't pay well.
They don't pay well. There's
That's
no benefits.
Bullshit. That's not true.
He's like, they don't pay well. There's no benefits. But that chicken sandwich is fucking amazing or something like that.
It is. I don't care.
You gotta go.
It's so good.
I don't care.
And now that I've had it again, I can say it's really good.
It's really good.
See, and also the establishment itself. So good, so clean.
Here's what I'm angry about. Now that you didn't invite me, you live in a different space. Why didn't you bring us back some?
So
we've covered the fact that I will eat cold sandwiches.
That got brought up. We were thinking about whether or not we should. Yeah. But then I remember back to last week when Colin was like, "Dude, I got like 3 of them," and I was like, "Oh, he brings them home." And then he was like, "No, I ate them all there."
Yeah.
And that blew my mind, which made me think you wouldn't want me to bring.
Glad to see that threw me under the bus there too. So I'm glad to see that fucked me out of chance.
Cheryl and I were talking about going this weekend. We just need a reason to go down there.
Are you fucking kidding me? Sunday, WrestleMania.
Sunday, they're closed.
Damn everything! Goddamn my life.
No, like usually, like we go down there to like IKEA. We'll buy something. Be like, oh, we got to return it now, and then we'll have to go back the next weekend to go back to Chick-fil-A. There's just no reason to go down there. It's so far away. I don't know. There's a Target down there, but there's 5,000 Targets in between here and there. Yeah. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Complete non sequitur.
It's been a good show.
Complete non sequitur now. I don't know why, but I haven't actually had a chance to talk to you about this. Congratulations. You did a freaking amazing job with Jericho.
Oh, thank you. Linda, this is Linda speaking. How may I help you?
Hey, Linda. It's Greg again from the GameOverGreggy show. Just making sure you still had a job. Thanks. See, a lot of people were worried last week that we got Linda fired when she said Portillo's was fast food. Linda still works in Portillo's in Bloomingdale, Illinois. Everybody
Can you stop hanging up on the woman?
She answered the question the first time, nailed it. This time, I just want to make sure she existed. Are you sure
it was
still.
The same Linda? There's multiple Lindas in the world.
What am I? Are you the one who said it was fast food last week?
Call her back and ask her if she's the same Linda.
No, that's insulting. You think that there are multiple Lindas at the Portillo's in Bloomingdale, Illinois?
Linda is a very common name,
but
just like Tim, Colin, Greg, and Nick.
There are multiple Lindas who and both of them happen to answer phones, and both of them sometimes work the shift on Wednesday night.
Yes.
Bullshit. I'm getting my photo taken with Linda next time I'm in Chicago on a Wednesday night.
No, Linda's going to be... Now Linda got fired because she's like trying to wonder like, who's after me? What's going on? And she has a fucking meltdown in the middle of Portillo's.
The Game Over Something show is
burns the kitchen down.
Next week we'll call again to make sure Linda's still okay. All right, that'll be the new thing to make sure Linda's all right. I think it's kind of like Batman though. Checking in on the people he saved before.
It's very much.
That's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is now she's currently contemplating buying a shotgun, just for her own safety.
You guys just jump to such conclusions.
Yeah. I think that you terrify people secretly. I think that you're kind of like the monster in Monsters Inc. where you're a lovable, like Sully. You're a lovable guy.
Which one's that? The blue one?
He's the big blue guy that's like super lovable. John
blue
Goodman
one. I
played.
nailed it. Great, thanks.
But like to children, you might be terrifying.
They loved him. That was the whole fucking thing of Monsters Inc. Is that they thought they were funny.
The one kid loved him because she was freaking weird.
I heard she died.
Boo did die.
Leukemia.
No. She becomes an old woman and she's in Brave.
The redhead?
Conspiracy. There's a whole conspiracy that links the entire Pixar universe.
The redhead in Brave is Mrs. Poole from the Hogan
Brave
family.
is like in olden times.
Wasn't that Mrs. Garrett?
But you know how they go through the doors and it brings you into like different places?
Kind of looks
she
like her,
goes into some door. It's a crazy theory, but she's like the crazy witch. And it checks out, man. Google the Pixar conspiracy theory.
This is like how Andy's mom was the owner of the cowboy girl. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that theory.
Yeah.
But all the Pixar movies are in the same universe.
There's a crazy like timeline that like it's
so when was
almost
Brave?
undisputable.
Almost undisputable.
When was Brave to a Toy Story?
Brave would have been in the past,
like
right?
Way in the past?
Brave was a long time ago.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
It's good.
I don't like it.
It's been a good show.
You know why I don't like it is because I feel like they're going to be...
Everything is.
How's Cars in the same
It
universe?
all makes sense. We'll read it later.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
That'll be a topic for a future show. Is there something that we're supposed to say before we start the show? Isn't there a spiel you go
What's
through?
up, everybody? It's Game Over
Buy
Great
a
Show.
t-shirt.
And if you buy a T-shirt, we sell those. We got a new Oreo-gasm T-shirt. Go get that. And then we do the shtick of, if you didn't know the Game Over Great Show, every week 4 best friends gather around this table, each bringing a random topic of conversation with them to discuss with the group for giggles, and we all post them. Every Friday, the MP3 goes up for $1 over on GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com. That's the entire episode, brand new content. Then the next week, everybody's topic goes up one by one, day by day on YouTube.com/GameOverGreggy with the full episode going live on Friday.
Yeah. And all of this now at a new time.
All right, we're putting everything live now at 12:01 midnight.
Pacific time.
Yeah.
That sounds
So
fun.
3 a.m.
Yeah. We're seeing how it works.
I missed one lunch meeting, and this is what happens.
I mean,
we also
started
voted you
this
out
last week, and
Damn it.
yeah.
Do I have to do like the show shirtless from now on to get back in?
Yeah.
Cool.
Gotta go back to that shadow boxing.
I never left shadowboxing, Greg.
It left you.
Shadowboxing left me.
Yeah, that's how that one went.
Yeah.
Since we're just doing the kit and caboodle here in the beginning, this can be my topic. I don't care. We're having a great time. Just talking. Just shooting the shit, as they say. But 4 best friends around the table. We haven't seen Nick in so long. My mom texted me right before this.
Jamie Kennedy.
Jamie Kennedy, everybody.
doing?
She's good. She's working on getting that experience off
Salt of the earth woman.
She texted me today, right before the show, and texts, "Oh my God, you guys didn't know that a Billy is a male goat and a nanny is a female goat? Where did I go wrong?" A show about us fucking a goat or having the world think we fucked a goat. That's what my mom
They
took
thought
away.
you fucked a goat.
I actually...
No, they thought I fucked a goat. Shit. But I didn't. I didn't fuck the goat.
You didn't. Tim and I went down that rabbit
Yeah,
hole.
oh, yeah.
You know what's sad? I don't
like
regret
a
it.
stroke.
No, I don't regret it at all.
The only thing I regret about that episode is now knowing the knowledge that one day I'm going to see your mother again. Mm-hmm. Your mother who was a saint.
Nice lady.
And it's actually embarrassing that she watches our show.
Think about the other horrible things you've said.
I don't say any horrible things. We bleeped out all the ones.
You're a scumbag we talk about.
Right.
That's
Why you
established.
call Nick a scumbag? That's mean.
That's what he is,
mean.
though.
That's a harsh thing to say to someone.
I don't know that I'm a scumbag.
You're not a scumbag.
I think he's our scumbag.
He's a degenerate.
He's our scumbag.
Yeah.
He's not a scumbag.
I don't think I'm a scumbag. I think I'm just more better. Is that a way to
more
say that?
better.
What?
You're more better. Yep.
I mean, here's what I want. Here's where I'm going with the scumbag thing, because I mean it in an endearing way. I love you.
You actually think I'm a scumbag?
That's just a
scumbag.
mean word to say.
I don't think that can be nice. I don't think that could be a compliment at all.
He's a scumbag, but in a good way.
Thanks for the
it can be.
Dangerfield.
Yeah. You can say someone's a douchebag and not mean it in a bad way. That's the type of person they are.
Here's
I
the
don't think
mirror
that you
I'm
can say
putting up
someone's a
to your
douchebag.
scumbagness, though. Just, you're rocking the shades, full beard. If it's a good day and I like you, you have a cigarette, but that's been years without it. But you're sitting there and just now put yourself in some of the conversations we've had.
Yeah. Those
About
are
people.
private conversations.
Why
I know.
looks though.
behind closed doors.
I know. I'm not saying
that
that.
you also participated.
Not to the extent you do, sir.
You get on that roller coaster with me every time.
And
you
I
might
love
be in
the
the
ride,
back,
and I
you might
love
be
the
in the
ride.
back, but you like the conversations we have, which I missed today because I didn't drive home with you guys. Those conversations are incriminating
Horrific.
to all of us.
They're horrific.
Okay,
They're horrific
And they
conversations.
generally start with Tim because he's the
They
one that
start
usually-
with Tim dropping an innocent seed on
little
the ground,
nugget of-
and then you come like a Disney witch with the blackness seeping up from cracks in the ground.
Fantasia. That was a witch thing, right?
No.
He was going
Which
with
one's
Maleficent.
Maleficent? That's what I'm thinking of. They're
What's
making a
that?
new movie about that, right?
Sleeping
Yes,
Beauty.
they are.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie. Which the theme song for this,
Yeah.
Lana Del Rey like remade the.
I just found out who that
Sleeping
was
Beauty
the other day. Lana Del Rey.
And so I just found out who she is too because I was like,
She got big lips.
I was like, oh man, I've heard this name before, and then I
And
looked
here
at my.
it goes. This is where it starts.
I can always say ShamWow. It's the app that lets you find music.
Shazam.
Shazam.
Yeah.
ShamWow.
Whatever. So
Did that guy die? Did that
ShamWow.
guy die?
No,
I
he got beat up a
consistently-
prostitute or something.
I consistently look at it, and there's been like 3 times where I've looked at a Lana Del Rey song. I'm like, I must love this girl.
Yeah.
So then I went out and I bought her album, and it's amazing. I love her.
What is one of her songs?
I've
been
the
listening-
popular one's the Summertime Sadness Business.
No, all right, I'm caught up. I know that.
Yeah. But there's a song that she has a day at the races,
Don't know.
or off to the races, something like that. And it is gangsta.
Gangsta.
In it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want that to have been my topic? That can be potpourri. I think that should be a breakout video on its own. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying here.
I mean, are we done? How long has this one been?
That's 22 minutes. That's plenty enough for. I'm
Wait,
fine
what
with
was your
sacrificing my topic.
Your topic was your mom watched the show?
I was saying no. I'm saying the topic was everything that just happened.
Oh,
It was Game Over Greggy potpourri.
Potpourri.
That's
what-
a Jeopardy. That's a Jeopardy.
I know. We started off with something good. That was a good debate that we went on for a while there.
I mean, we talked about Breaking Bad. We talked about some.
Yeah, Breaking Bad. There you go. That's how you do
I'll
it.
tell you this. That
Yeah.
my mom also listens to this show. And
Yeah.
She also listens to the
Betty
podcast
Ann.
Beyond. Betty Ann Moriarty.
Beyond.
Yeah.
Good Italian woman.
podcast Beyond.
Good Italian woman. And
She makes an excellent sauce.
she does make a good sauce. And she listens to it too. And I try not to engage too much in what we talk about here because it's just so not what I want to talk about with my mother.
It's dangerous.
But she did say to me she thinks Tim's really funny because she doesn't know
Yeah.
she doesn't know Tim like she knows Greg and I and
Yeah.
obviously me
Yeah.
and Clement and Clement and Goldfarb.
Yeah.
And she was like, she thought it was really funny that Tim was talking about how some mysterious man in the neighborhood was leaving, what was it, porn or something, or cards?
Oh, the cards.
Yeah, the cards to teach kids lessons.
Yeah.
She thought that was she was
The funniest thing.
hysterical laughing about that.
That's
So good
funny.
for you, Tim.
Yay.
You made
I'm happy about this.
Bam laugh.
Good.
Bam.
Yeah.
That's what we call it. Betty Ann Moriarty. I like that.
When my mom worked at the airline, people used to call her that. Yeah. Bam.
Did they go bam,
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 bam?
bam.
That's cool as hell.
The thing I feel bad about with my mom is that her name is Betty Ann. That's her name, like
Yeah.
her full name. But a lot of people just like Betty. But her name is
she doesn't
Betty
like that?
Ann. No, she doesn't like that at all because Betty's her mom.
I call her BA.
B.A. Baracus?
B.A. Baracus, yeah.
That was a common
All
thing
right,
in my
enough
family.
of this week's.
Anyway, that's
That's
it.
it. Trivia question. What does BA stand for?
Badass.
There
Badass.
you go.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's why I called Tim. I used to call Tim BA Tim Gettys.
Yeah,
You
then I
never
lost
did
it.
that.
Nope. Just now.
Now
Just
PO
started.
is what you call him.
But for that, I was broke ass.
T.O.?
Pure one.
Oh. I like that a lot.
Today
So-
at work, somebody asked what John Ryan's last name was.
Oh no! For the longest time, I thought.
Oh, because
That's
of Mark
awesome.
Rhyme.
What's
Yeah.
that?
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, I always get confused on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I want a true first name.
Nick
like-
Scarpino is a great name.
Yeah,
though.
but so my wife has a hyphenated last name, and I wanted to take one of her last names, ditch mine, and have us both just make
You're
a
an
common
idiot.
last name.
You have the
Scarpino-
coolest last name.
Scarpino is not a cool last name. Scarpino is like it's like the mobster in like the midway through the Casino movie that gets like killed in a horrible, like dragged out to the cornfield because he screwed up. You know, like he got too drunk and like messed up the drop, and then they have to like beat him over the head with baseball bats. It's not like you don't get to be the mob boss when your last name is Scarpino.
No, man.
Moriarty is a last name where like that guy like is gonna come out on top no matter what. Scarpino's the guy that like remember what happened to Scarpino? Yeah, don't get Scarpino. That's what
I don't
that's
know,
gonna be
man.
like.
I could not disagree. With you
I
more.
never liked my last name as from I think it's a great last name. I never thought it was a cool last name.
It's a good last name.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good last name.
I like it.
So I wanted to go by Nick Marcus. Hi, Nick Marcus. See, isn't that amazing?
You're an idiot.
My wife was like, "No, we're not going by that."
Wait, so
I think Marcus from PSP took it forever.
PSP Marcus?
your game on.
Oh my god, that was awful.
Remember him? He was a child who tried to sell you PSPs. He had like 2 commercials. He was the kid from that Paul Rudd, Sean William Scott movie, Role Models.
Role models, funny
Yeah.
movie. LARPing. Learned that
Yes.
term because of that movie.
Yeah. Naomi did some LARPing and posted some tweets about it.
She did it with Geek and Sundry. Our
Cool
friends
pictures.
over at Geek and
Fun
Sundry.
pictures.
That's fun.
Well, there's a trailer up.
Is she
There's a
with-
video up.
Yeah. Well, the pictures look good.
Is she with Felicia?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
No.
What
Felicia
did
had
she
something
do?
to do with it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
I
what.
was drinking.
Naomi's a big fan of Felicia, by the way, because Felicia was on Eureka, and Naomi and I are both huge fans of Eureka. So that's how that little weird thing goes.
Yeah.
By the way, if you haven't watched Eureka, really, really fun show.
Do you remember Erie, Indiana?
Yes.
Yes, because I watched an episode of it on Netflix, and then I was like, I'm not watching this show anymore.
It doesn't hold up? Nope. Doesn't hold up well?
That was a good show. I like
no, it doesn't want.
They come on out right after Goosebumps.
I have 2 questions. Well, I have a question and a comment.
Okay.
And a concern?
No concerns. The question is, your wife's name is hyphenated, but it's hyphenated because she took your name?
No, it's hyphenated because her mom took hyphenated.
This is too much. So
I wanted to hyphenate it a third time.
Okay.
So it was. I'm not gonna say my last name on
XY Scarpino.
Yeah.
My second comment is just about the last name Moriarty. Is that it's a good last name, but it has evil connotation
because of Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
Yeah.
But it has a badass connotation. That's what everyone knows it from.
But that's the thing. Like, that's cool. That's intimidating, and that's like Moriarty is one of the greatest adversaries in the history of history, basically in fiction, right? So that's really cool.
You have Scar in your name.
Yeah,
and
but
Pino.
it's Pino, which means little in Italian.
Little Scar.
No, it means little shoe, actually.
Little Scar.
Can't you just tell people?
Nick Little Shoe. It's like your Indian name.
Nick Little
They
Shoe.
call them Little Shoes.
Hey, Little Shoe. He got beat over the head by a bat in the cornfield. I just watched Casino. That's why I got this whole.
Well, I was going to say, Scarpino doesn't sound like that guy in Casino to me. Scarpino sounds like the guy in Bronx Tale that goes in with Sonny into the biker bar, and he's like, now you just can't leave. And then you're one, and then you're one, and then you're one of the guys that beats him up, but you probably don't really see you otherwise. You're in the car sometimes. Sometimes you're rolling dice, but no one's really got a problem with you.
I can get into that. So I live. You're saying I live at the end of the.
Yeah, you're alive.
Okay, cool.
I'm like Sonny.
Sonny went out.
Spoilers. I
Like
was
a
about
light.
to finish it today.
Have you seen a Bronx Tale?
Yeah.
It's so good.
That's.
Yeah.
I think
That
that's.
scene
I
you're
love all
talking
those
about is
movies.
so good.
That's really the most. I mean, Godfather is obviously the quintessential mobster movie, and it's like one of the great movies of all time. But I think A Bronx Tale is up there, like number 2. Like that's a really fantastic. Casino's great too, and there's a bunch of them. But A Bronx Tale, because it's a different kind of story.
It is.
It's a different kind of mobster story. It's about a kid. You know, and you don't. There's no other one like that.
Nope.
So.
And it's bus driving father.
Yep.
You know they're gonna spin him off for a while.
What?
Give him his own movie.
The bus driver.
A bus's tale.
The bus tale.
Oh, they're gonna give Robert De Niro his own movie. That's
That
unprecedented.
movie made him, man. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody knew who he was.
There was that, and then the 30 other movies he did before that made him a superstar. Nice shirt.
Oh, thank you. This painting
whole thing?
this painting of Portillo Panda Musk did, and then put on his shirt for me.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
I like that a lot. It's a striking resemblance.
Yeah, it does. It captures the vacancy and and he looks a little dumb in the face, so that's good.
It looks like he is contemplating whether he wants to pee or pee on you right now. Like he's like, I'm thinking about peeing. I just peed. That's what it looks like. Thanks for letting me touch your man breast.
No problem. Touch
Your
the
man
nipple.
breasts.
Right there.
Yep, there it
That's
is.
it right there.
All right.
You ever notice that the difference in the feel of the skin of the nipple? Like Nick's touching me up here, it feels bulletproof, and then you touch the nipple, and it's like he's inside my chest.
You're inside me. I want you inside me.
I want you inside me through my nipple.
By the way, the Bronx Tale has like a number of amazing lines, and one that you already said. The other one is when they ask, like, Dad, would you rather be feared or loved? And his dad's like, love, love, love. And then Tony's like, I would rather be feared than loved. Love fades. Or some shit. It was so good.
The best line.
And Chaz Palminteri is so good.
He's very good in that.
Rather be feared
The
than
best line, as Greg and I always say, is they call him coffee cakes because his face looks like a Drake's coffee cake. That's one of the I
don't even remember that line.
When they go into the casino,
when they're doing like the pan shot through the bar and they're talking about each person as they go.
They call him Jimmy the Whale. All that kind of stuff. Put him in the bathroom. That's one of the other great lines too, because Sonny doesn't want to look at Coffee Cake's face when he's rolling the dice. He's like, I don't want that face. Look at him, my dice. Put him in the bathroom.
Well, we do the nickname thing though, because they're just the least inventive nicknames of all time.
What would your nickname be?
If I was them, they called him Fat Guy because he was fat. That's how clever they were.
Yeah, that's why we make fun of it all the time, because it's like
they called him Needs a Shave Scarpino because he needs to shave.
They call him Beard because he's got a beard.
It's like a 2 Chainz song.
That's really good.
She got a big booty, so I call her Big Booty.
Gotta save him.
Real line.
A big booty.
Real line.
That's poetry.
Yeah,
Poetry
it
in
is.
motion right there.
Did you see my tweet the other day? That was pretty clever.
Uh-uh.
It's too late now.
Damn it.
It was about that.
What was it?
It was the 2 Chainz line from the thing. It's pussy so wet. I bought her a pet. I got her a pet. One of those things. And so I tweeted out the line, blurring out the pussy part, but saying, "Would you think this was a dragon from World of Warcraft, or was it some kind of cat for Guild Wars 2?" Making a reference to MMO pets, bringing it to our nerd culture. His song that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know, that reminds me of the time that you laughed hysterically at yourself for saying "kick the D."
Kick the D. No, suck the D and kick the P. And I related it to the Care Bears, and then right before this show, Tim showed me someone drew that for us.
Yeah.
And made that.
Did they now?
Yeah.
With the Care Bears walking away from an explosion with the text above and below, just like I dreamed it up. I dreamt it, and they made it.
It's amazing. Hit that
Thank you
right now. That's going on a shirt.
Tim's got him saved on his phone under Big Booty.
I emailed it to you.
All right.
Oh, good. Thank you. Colin, my topic was potpourri. What's yours?
All right.
He's breaking out the tablet.
So this one's a little nerdy, but it's exciting to
on
me.
This show?
I want you to. Well, it's nerdy in my way, and I want you guys to just
nerdier than planets.
Okay, bearing with you.
Nerdier than taxes.
So I know a lot about history, right? I know a lot about politics, especially American history and American politics. And there's something that happened today that I didn't know was possible. And I want to tell you guys what happened.
Thank you.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about what you would do in this situation.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
So, do you know how you can amend the Constitution by, the Senate and the Congress pass something, right? 2/3 majority, and then they send it to the states, and then the 3/4 of the states' legislatures approve it, then the amendment passes, right, to the Constitution.
Good.
Right. This is the way it's typically done.
Right.
But there's another way that you can amend the Constitution, and it's totally legal. And I never heard about this before.
Really?
Yeah. And I took classes on some pretty granular bullshit. So I want to just see if you guys find this interesting, and then ask you guys a quick question about it. And then we'll move on.
It.
At issue is what's known as the Constitutional Convention, a scenario tucked into Article 5 of the U.S. Constitution. At its core, Article 5 provides 2 ways for amendments to be proposed. The first, which has been used for all 27 amendments to date, requires 2/3 of both the House and the Senate to approve a resolution before sending it to the states for ratification. The Founding Fathers, though, devised an alternative way, which states if 2/3 of state legislatures demand a meeting, Congress shall call a convention for proposing amendments. So I didn't know that this was possible. Okay. I don't know how the fuck I missed this.
This is kind of a big deal.
The idea was gained popularity among constitutional scholars in recent years, but it got a big boost last week when Michigan lawmakers endorsed it. Michigan matters because by some counts it was the 34th state to do so. That makes 2/3. So what they're basically saying is that over the last few years, over the budget and other things, state legislatures have passed laws or bills saying that they want a constitutional convention, which we have not had since 1787, in which all the states would get together to ratify new amendments. And I found this, first of all, fascinating because this is not the way it was ever done. And I had no idea this was possible. Mm-hmm. But also because I wanted to ask you guys a quick question about if whether it was by the normal way or by this kind of fascinating old school, very 18th century way, what amendment would you pass?
Ooh.
For the Constitution?
It's episode 18, and you finally got a good one. I like this topic. This is a good topic here, Moriarty.
Greg?
I gotta think now.
You gotta think now.
I immediately jump to clarifying marriage. Gays can get married. We're done with this. This is stupid. We're out of this. We're out of this ballpark.
The final nail in that coffin.
Exactly. It's already happening. All the dominoes are falling. You know what I mean? But just speed it up. Be done with it. Take a stand as a country. Be like, boom, done. Gays can get married. You're not horrible people. Thank you. That would be a good one. Mm-hmm. I don't want to just take them all. I'll sit here.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I would say, the whole separation of church and state.
Tim and I are desperately trying to think of one right now, and we can't.
Separation of church and state. I want to rip one nation under God. I want to rip that out of the Pledge of Allegiance. I want to separate church and state. I know, Colin, we've talked about this before on conversations with Colin, other things. Just when we sit around like we do in our heart-shaped bed smoking cigars. I know, don't get me wrong, I know for a fact that...
That's your bed rotating.
Yes, thank you. The church and state isn't the literal thing that I'm taking it to be, but I know most America does. And nobody has the balls in the politics to stand up and clarify what this is. I'm going to do this in the thing. I'm going to get 10 commandments out of courtrooms. I'm going to get all this, under... I want in God we trust off the money. I don't want to even have to worry about this. This needs to be a clear statement from the government that, nope, we were founded by a bunch of people trying to escape religious persecution. We're not going to be a part of it here. We want to get rid of this, make it black and white. You know what I mean? That this is not how we roll. That's another one. So you got the gay marriage done. Get the marriage out of there.
I'm down with this so far.
Yeah.
I'm in it.
Yeah, I'd vote for you.
I'd want to settle the gun stuff, but I don't have anything there. You should still keep your guns, but there needs to be limits on what the hell. We've talked about this again too. You know what I mean? I don't know if you need these goddamn machine guns and rocket launchers. We'll figure that out. But we'll see.
As far as I know, I don't know if you can walk into a Big Five and buy a rocket launcher.
Yeah,
Colin, can I get a ruling on that?
You can buy a rocket launcher, but a lot of these weapons are technically not legal. You can buy a lot of things at gun shows.
Rocket launcher.
I want an RPG.
You're at the gun show right now.
Oh man.
See what I did there? My muscles.
Did you load those guns before you came in here?
Yeah.
Are they dangerous?
Yeah.
Beautiful. I would probably. I don't know what I'd do exactly, but I feel like I would want to do something around lobbyists or campaign contributions.
That's a great one.
Because I'm not quite sure how to phrase it, but I feel like that is the number one reason why it's legalized corruption in my opinion. I feel like the fact that if I were a billionaire, I could legitimately buy my own politician and put him in the presidency because I have enough money to do it. Now, granted, there's a lot more that goes into it, but I feel like our politicians can't make their own decisions because they're so beholden to the people that put them in that office. And then once they get there, they're like, well, I can't really do anything because I got to make sure I get reelected. And then you have this sort of round robin of people who are basically only looking out for their chair, and that's it. And so I feel like I don't know exactly how I would phrase that, but I would like to see an amendment that goes in our Constitution that basically just maybe evens the playing field for, the amount of money one can spend on their campaign. And that would also potentially get people to be a little more creative about how they go about being elected, like,
YouTube videos.
Well, there's that a lot of people do that now, actually.
Hiring P. Diddy, trying to get him involved.
I love P. Diddy. If I were running for president, I'd go P. Diddy, and then if he said no, I'd go Kanye.
Well, he'd threaten you if you didn't vote.
Rock the vote.
Vote or die.
Vote or die. That's what it was. MTV was Rock the Vote. P. Diddy really did it, man. He went out for it.
Yep.
Colin, does that make sense? I got to pass that 3-1 on that one. Does that make any sense, or am I just completely off base on that?
No, it makes sense. I mean, it's tough. The Supreme Court just ruled on this today.
Did they?
What'd they say?
5-4 Republicans all voted to. There was basically there's already a limit on how much you can contribute, but they were saying like the individual max and about like contributions to presidential and congressional campaigns is overturned. So like you can give more money now.
Oh, great. Now that's what it was. Somebody tweeted on my feed today that they were disappointed in the Supreme Court, and I didn't understand because there was no links.
This is a tough one for me because money does ruin politics, but money's always been part of politics. Not to this extent, of course. But everyone that ran for president back in the day was rich. You weren't having like middle class didn't exist, but you weren't having like middle class, people. George Washington was landed gentry. John Adams was a rich Boston lawyer. Jefferson, Madison, and Monroe were all Virginia planters. Like these are all very rich men. The first five presidents.
Same things here, with the exception of I think Clinton started off as not rich, right? I think he was.
No, but he became. They made their. I don't want to say nouveau riche, but they made some. Yeah, cash. They made money.
But he made cash before he was president, right?
Yes.
Was there ever? I mean, a president, like, what about, like, Floyd Thompson? Was he, like,
President Floyd Thompson?
Did he pull himself up by his boots?
So this is a funny story about President Floyd Thompson, is that President Floyd Thompson doesn't exist, of course. And Greg and I were talking, was it yesterday?
It was yesterday. We were on the way to you missed his amazing lunch, by the way.
Where'd you guys go?
What is it called?
21st?
None of us know.
La Graje.
La Graje?
Have you been to this place?
No.
It's down by
carne asada fries, bro.
Oh, yeah. Bro.
I got a fried crab sandwich.
Brosens.
So the President Thompson isn't a real person, but I was telling Greg that we could say that his name and that he was a real president and never say anything about it, just mention him in passing, and 90% of the people in the world, in the United States, have no idea that that's not even a real man. Just like everyone thinks Benjamin Franklin was a president.
No, I would not have
honestly,
that.
If you're like, if Colin was talking,
the 22nd president,
and he was just like,
Floyd
Thompson. And so like President Thompson, blah 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 blah, Floyd, whatever. Would you really question it?
I would have questioned it. Yeah, I would have been like, that's not a president.
Don't believe that.
So many people think Ben Franklin was a president, and it's like,
I thought
he's
Ben
a real
Franklin
man.
was a president.
No, he wasn't. No.
What the fuck did he do? Lightning stuff?
Jefferson.
Yeah.
Jefferson was a president.
I thought he was a president.
Two men.
A lot of that's because I get Ben Franklin and Thomas Jefferson confused all the time as far as what they did. I know kind of some of the specifics, but
yeah, they're very.
It's hard. You remember that
So why is he on the money?
Because he was a brilliant man.
Because he was a brilliant inventor. There are two men that are on money that were not president. Do you know who they are?
Franklin.
No.
Franklin and who else?
And
Roosevelt.
Floyd Thompson.
Floyd Thompson, yes.
Floyd Thompson. Yeah. No, think about
FT.
it. Who's on money?
That's not a president. No, Lincoln's on the
Washington, Lincoln.
John
I don't
Adams?
know who the hell's on the 10. Who's on the 10?
Hamilton.
That's made up name.
Aaron
so
Burr.
Hamilton.
Aaron Burr. Also, Hamilton's the other one. You know why Hamilton couldn't be president? Because he wasn't born in the United States.
Really?
Yeah, he was born in the Caribbean. So he wasn't even eligible to be president.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
He was the first Secretary of the Treasury, though.
That's why we gave him the least interesting dollar amount.
The 10?
Who gives a crap?
The
about
10's
the
the
10?
least.
The 10's where
The
it starts getting
$2
interesting.
bill is the least interesting
That's
dollar.
a very interesting one.
It is interesting.
And it's interesting because it's out of circulation. Nobody wants it.
The 10 is where things start getting real.
Yeah,
Nah.
The 10 and the
20's
20 is
real.
when you're like, I
20's
got to
real.
think about this.
ATMs have changed the way
The
we think of
50
paper money.
is just baller. And then
No,
if you
50 might be the weirdest.
50 is the weirdest because 50 is like, if you're going to go 50, go 100.
Yeah,
What-
exactly.
what's
And
the
if you're
deal?
going to go 10, go 20.
No, I like 10 because 10 people can make change for. A lot of people can't make change for 20s. You walk in, a lot of places like, don't accept $20 bills.
What?
They'll do that stuff
That's
sometimes.
bullshit.
Weird places.
No, you see,
20s
they
are
don't
the
have change
standard.
above $20 bills.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm reading that time
I think you're
wrong.
reading
I don't
it wrong.
actually like to read.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Colin.
Yeah.
This will be a fun game.
Okay. Floyd Thompson.
Can you name, fake or not, name one other president that's obscure, and we'll have to figure out if you're fake. If it's fake or
Fake
not.
or not? I was like, what?
No. Yeah, that's
Now
the
I'm
game.
caught up. Now I'm
That'll be
caught
the
up.
game.
Now I'm caught up.
So you want me to say one name?
Just so
He wants you to yes.
You know,
You're-
I assume you know every single president we've
Yeah.
had.
You know all
I assume
52.
you know.
All 52 of them, yep.
What are we on the 45th, 44th?
It depends on how you count. It's the 40. It's well because
I know exactly.
there was a non-consecutive president. He's technically counted twice.
Which one was that?
It's Chester Arthur was in the middle. It's was it Garfield? No, Garfield was dead.
Hold on. Chester Arthur?
Chester Arthur's yeah.
That's a president
Yeah.
that we have.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
gonna be a fun game. Okay, stop right there.
Yeah.
That is not real.
Start right there. Name one more president, and we're gonna go around the table. And Greg,
Yeah, I'm listening.
me and Tim
I'm
are gonna
thinking.
tell you
I'm getting
if
in
it's,
the.
if
I'm
it's
getting in the
true or
moment.
false.
Getting in the moment.
Rutherford Hayes.
True. That was president.
It's a real name. I'm in. True.
I am. That is not a president.
It is a president.
No.
Yeah.
We had like 5 presidents. Washington,
baby.
Lincoln, Clinton, Bush, and the guy we have now.
There's a couple Bushes.
Zachary Taylor.
True.
True.
No.
Yes.
What? What? That was the guy from Home Improvement.
That was Zachary Ty Bryant.
That's Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
There's more than one guy on Home Improvement.
No one cares about the
That
older
is
brother,
exactly
except
what-
he was in Tokyo Drift, which is
I was
amazing.
gonna
Oh, yeah.
say, let's not fucking throw him under the bus here. He's in your favorite franchise of all time. What happened?
That was me blowing everyone's
Blowing
mind
your
with
own
that
mind?
reference. Yeah, I blew my own mind with that reference.
About time somebody blew you.
Albert Saint Germain.
I'm going false on that one.
False.
It's definitely false.
Saint Germain's amazing. Though.
That'd be
a good one.
President Saint Germain.
One day, and maybe not on this show, but one day we do have to come up with the alter egos. You remember in Seinfeld, they always had the best alter egos.
Art Vandelay.
Art Van
Art
Vandelay.
Vandelay.
I'm your latex
What was
salesman.
Kramer's?
Dr. Van Nostrand.
Yeah. we have to do we have to do an alternate universe show where we're all our aliases.
Evil selves.
We'll just go as our evil selves. Tim
Me
will wear all
and
white.
Alfredo are Jim and Fernando.
Jim Fernando. Is that when you used to go, like sneak up behind people when they were having sex in cars and you just like honk your horn and like
No,
tip
that
their
was
car
just
over
Tim.
hills?
got
Jim and
Fernando.
This is Jim. That's my boy Fernando.
Whoa.
I like it.
I went there.
Tim, what amendments do you want to pass?
I want Amazon to go back to not taxing me. I don't know if that's an amendment, but I want to make it one.
You could work on taxes.
Yeah.
That'd be
You
part
could
of
do
it.
anything. You could
Taxes
change.
just in general really piss me
Some
off.
bullshit.
It's one of those things I just don't even want to listen about it. Like I just hate it. I don't want them to happen, and I know they do things, but
I know they do things.
they don't do things that make me happy.
I can't.
directly.
Should
They
have voted
think-
for Mitt Romney.
They build your roads.
Well, is he gonna run again?
I'm okay without roads.
way.
He's
No,
done?
once you lose, it's over, right? Like when you get that close.
Not really. I mean, it's not necessarily true, but in today's day and
Like
age,
it's-
Reagan lost in '76. I mean, not in the general. He lost in the primary.
Yeah. Saint Germain
once
really
you
though,
lose
he
it.
came back.
But
with,
that's okay.
against
Primary
Thompson.
losses you can take. I'm talking about when you get up to the title fight and you're lead ballot.
Yeah.
You can be VP and
VP.
lose. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last time.
Then you
that
can get the
happened.
Money in the Bank match and then come back. the
Right.
next time. Yeah.
Side note.
WrestleMania.
Nixon.
Yeah, but okay. So I'm talking about like in our time period. I think now things have changed.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, Nixon was the last one that lost, and then ran again.
You got an eyelash. I'm coming for it.
There it is. Make a wish. Blow it out.
So just real quick,
Blue Ribbon
to go back to what Nick was saying about campaign contributions, this is a thing that really bothers me, lobbyists and stuff, because like technically, like I I feel like principally like there should be no limit on campaign contributions or lobbying because it's kind of like your right to do that, but it really does manipulate the system like demonstrably. Like you can.
I just don't think it should be allowed at all.
It's just fucked up. Like I don't. But like money's part of the system. It's a delicate balance. I will say that there's 2 amendments on the books that I would do away with. It was up to me. The 16th and 17th amendments.
Which
are
for those of us at home that don't know which ones those are.
I don't know them.
So the 16th Amendment is that legalizes income tax. This is an amendment I would absolutely go. That's got to go. We've talked about that before. The 17th Amendment is an interesting one. The 17th Amendment allows for people to vote for the Senate. So when the founders created the Senate, state legislators would choose the senators, and it wasn't until the 20th century that people were actually picking senators themselves. Yeah. And this was like part of a whole like democratizing government movement, which is fine. But we're not a democracy; we're a republic. And there's a major differences between democracies and a republic. We are not democracy is literal mob rule. We are a republic. We have representatives that go and vote for us. The states don't have any voice in the federal government anymore, which is why things are so disjointed, in my opinion. So like, the House and the Senate are redundant. It's just like the House is there for 2 years and the Senate's there for 6 years, but everyone's voting for them. So you just get the same kinds of people.
Right.
So the House of Representatives should be the representatives of the people, and the Senate should be the representatives of the states, like state interests. So think about it in the way of like if you're from Wyoming, always my favorite example. Like the congressman would probably Wyoming only has 1 congressman, and they would worry about like things that are probably within Cheyenne and bigger jurisdictions, whatever. Wyoming would be up to the state, like the Senate, to worry about like our farming interests and our cattle interests and our oil interests and all those kinds of things. Make sure like all that stuff straightened out. I think that that's important, and I don't think people think about that very often. We don't need 2 of the same house. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And on that note, I would institute a new amendment that would give term limits to Congress and the Senate.
That's got to come. And you got these guys that are like 900 years old, right?
Yeah, they're
Strom Thurmond.
Like we talked about with the House. The House of Representatives was created by men in the 1780s who didn't understand the way things would work now. 2 years was a fucking long time when you had to write letters and literally stay in Washington or in Philadelphia at the beginning and then go home and then come back. Like now we have this connected world where you're constantly running 24-hour news cycle. It's totally different. So like I've said before, like I would have the House of Representatives 1 term for 5 years, and everyone comes in at the same time and everyone leaves at the same time. And the Senate would be 1 term, 10 years, and everyone would go in and come out.
Why not 10 and 10?
Because you want to have like the Senate again would be chosen by the states and would ideally have longer term plans in terms of like what they need to get done and all those kinds of things, and be given time over possibly, depending on how it works out, 3 different presidents. Up maybe, or maybe just 2.
Right.
To like work those things out. And the House is supposed to be about for the people, and so people might want to have turnover more quickly. But since we don't take advantage of, we never throw incumbents out anyway, and everyone's always like, well, every 2 years we can change everything up. Well, that never happens. So just let them stay longer and then kick them out permanently. And I would also say that if you are in the House, you can't be in the Senate. If you were in the Senate, you cannot run for the House. Get everyone out and then start again.
So you can't go from congressman to senator to back to congressman.
Well, you can't go from like House to Senate or Senate to House.
Right.
People, John Quincy Adams is a good example. He was president and then he went to the House afterwards for 20 years, which is fucking weird.
But can the president now be a senator if he wanted to again?
Yeah.
He or she?
Yeah. Well, there's like all sorts of different things. Like
you wouldn't.
No, presidents go back to the Congress, or presidents become Supreme Court justices, or like all sorts of things. That's fine, but like it's a little incestual. I've been thinking a lot about this because
you're gonna run.
No, because we're gonna have a Bush-Clinton race probably again in 2016, and it's just like we shouldn't have dynasties.
Who's running, Jeb?
Yeah,
really?
It looks like Jeb Bush is gonna be the
man.
Yeah, a lot of stuff to talk the last couple of weeks about like the big money people in the Republican Party are trying to goad him into the race because Chris Christie fucked everything up.
By the way, side note, I watched. So you can tell that everyone's starting to gear up the political like advertising machine.
Oh, for the midterms?
Yeah. So there's a fascinating documentary about Jerry Ferraro.
Guy Ferretti?
No, Geraldine Ferraro.
Oh, Geraldine Ferraro, the congresswoman.
Yeah, the congresswoman who ran for vice president.
Yeah, with Mondale.
And it's all a big sort of the whole documentary. So I started watching it because it was on. I was at my parents' house and they like to watch stuff like that. So I'm like, when I'm at my parents' house, I'm like old. I'm like an old man when I go there. So like I sit down, I'm kind of colder than I usually am. Then I just eat a lot, and then I go to bed at like 7.
You're like, I'm not interested in this show. I'm gonna go Shadowbox.
So I mean, that's where I started. It doesn't matter. We'll go into that later. But no, so I started watching this really cool documentary about the woman, and of course Hillary Clinton was like featured prominently in it because she was a supporter of her first campaign run. But it's interesting because there was after that there was 3 or 4 more documentaries, and a lot of them were a lot of the media is very heavily skewed, and you're starting to see that sort of passive sort of support for each one of these candidates. And you're I wonder how long ago that documentary was made, and if it was all sort of planned to paint Hillary Clinton in a much better light now than she was, 4 years ago.
Oh man, it's so obvious that she's going to be the one. I mean, I don't know if she wins or not. She wins the primary. If there's anyone that runs against her is stupid enough to even bother. There's so much voter remorse over Obama that people go back to 2008 and are we could have had Clinton then, because Clinton would have wiped the floor with McCain too. So I think a lot of people are interested in her.
Do you
now.
think she's knocked down? She's going to get it? I don't think anyone's really. You're
right. I think she's a shoo-in in the Democratic part. Now the Republican primary is going to be interesting because you're going to have there's going to be 4 or 5 pretty big players that could all win.
But you really think we're going to put another Bush back in the office?
Jeb Bush is an incredibly smart person, and I was talking to Greg and Tim about it yesterday. I feel there's something called the Schlesinger poll that historians do every 2 years. Actually, they vote more than that and they rank the presidents. Scholars rank the presidents.
I'm sorry. Tim, do you want to say it?
The Streisand effect.
Yeah, the Streisand effect.
All right. He had the look on his face. Isn't he a puppet?
And Schlesinger is a famous Harvard historian, one of the most famous American historians probably since Henry Adams. And old man, I think he might be even dead now. And so they vote, and I feel Bush is near the bottom. I feel like history's gonna be kinder to Bush, just like history was actually kinder to Bush 1.
And I was saying he won't crack 30 in this ranking.
Maybe not. I don't know.
You were saying you think he's gonna get the teens?
No, yeah, I think he can be in the late teens, early 20s. But I feel people were quick to hate on Bush, which is fine. I think he made a lot of mistakes. He did go to Yale. He's not a fucking stupid man, which a lot of people forget about. But he
did a lot of coke in Yale.
Yeah, he did a lot of coke in Yale.
BGW
so did Obama. Did a lot of coke too. So
did Obama do coke?
Yeah, for sure. He admits that all the time. He always says I made mistakes, and I appreciate that. He's a normal person. But I feel there's remorse that we were so quick to throw Bush out and throw him under the bus and be totally mean to him. Meanwhile, Jeb Bush was always the one who was assumed that was going to run for president in the 90s when he was coming up in governor of Florida. So but he's very reluctant. I don't think he really wants to run. But I think the big power players, if it's not him, Chris Christie will still run. I think he everything got fucked up with him, which sucks.
The bridge.
I think Rand Paul is going to be a really significant factor, really? and I think that Rand Paul could very easily win the nomination. Now, if it's Rand Paul and Hillary Clinton, those are 2 very different people, and at least you're going to have a choice. Rand Paul's a straight up libertarian, so
yeah. But that's the thing. That's the thing is because I don't know. Just because his dad tried multiple times.
Yeah, twice.
And
3 times technically.
So polarizing that it was dude, you're not gonna get the vote.
But
he's a pretty radical guy. The Paul family's pretty radical.
I loved Ron Paul because he brought libertarianism to the forefront. Now it's never gone away, and libertarianism is the new Republican Party. That is going to be the Republican Party.
He is a very fascinating human being.
He's awesome.
He's awesome.
He's a big, he's a very consistent person of liberty, dude. I don't always agree with him, actually. I disagree with him on a lot, but I love his consistency in what he says. It gets him in trouble.
I was going to say that's part of the reason why I was this guy will never be president, because he's too honest. He has kind of radical views as far as our current party system goes, and he would just say stuff, and you're well,
that's what we want now. That's what we need.
That's what everyone needs.
Straight shooter.
But no one they always say, well, America wants straight shooter, but then we end up voting for the people that are if we put another Bush in office and we're just a glutton for punishment, let's get right back into Iraq. Let's get right back into war. Let's get right back into Afghanistan. And why the hell not?
You think that's a Bush thing?
It's definitely a Bush thing.
No, I think
Bush got us into him.
I agree.
I don't think we should say that to Jeb though. Well, you're a Bush. When are we going back to Iraq? And he's right away. He gets inaugurated and just turns around and does this, and all these jets take off.
I disagree that I don't think history will remember George W. I mean, maybe because of the way he responded after 9/11, but I mean, Jesus, the man used it. The man used the biggest American tragedy in our history to fund basically his own private wars, and it was just deplorable, man. We're still fighting those wars.
But I wonder. That's true, but I wonder. I think it's about whether we want to talk about fairness or not in terms of the way Bush is portrayed. And what I mean by that is, 2001 was 9/11 was a really difficult time for any president in terms of war, probably since Vietnam, and I wonder, JFK and JFK started the Vietnam War, right? And LBJ perpetrated the Vietnam War, and Nixon was the one who stopped it. Nixon was the one who was like, enough, and he's the one who stopped the Republican. The Democrats are the ones that started that war. But we don't often talk about Vietnam as being a Democratic boondoggle, even though it fucking was a Democratic boondoggle, because we choose to look at our history in a different way because of a liberal-leaning scholarship in the United States and a liberal-leaning media. And that's fine for better or for worse, but like we can look at it the same way with the Republicans, especially in 2006 when the Democrats took the House and the Senate. They could have ended it if they wanted to, and they didn't. So like, and a lot of those people like Hillary Clinton voted for the war when they were in the Senate. So like, it's about, it's just about honesty. Biden's the same fucking way. Like Biden was a hawk.
Smiling Joe Biden?
Smiling Joe Biden, Uncle Joe.
That guy, he's a little creepy.
I love Joe Biden.
He's very, man, I talk to Greg about it every once in a while where when Romney was running against Obama and Romney destroyed Obama in that first debate, and I was like, oh my God, like this is awesome. I couldn't believe it. Like there was total meltdown on the internet and on like all the talk because Romney just obliterated Obama. Like Obama had no idea what he was walking into because everyone made Romney look like a cartoon character for 6 months because the liberal media does that, and then everyone finally got their first real like unfiltered look at him, and everyone's like, holy shit, he's not a Muppet.
I liked Romney, and I liked it because at the time, we were owned by Fox then, right? And so watching people run your company and then listening to this guy who's like, this is what I do. I go in and I dig companies out of debt and I make them profitable, and I want to do that for our economy, and I want to do that for the United States. Not that everything, necessarily should be driven by money like we were talking about earlier, but should be. Dude, I mean, I would hate to be negotiating with him on any subject. On any deal at all. The guy is just insanely smart.
He's self-made too. Like his dad was rich. He was the governor of Michigan, but he left Mitt Romney with nothing. Mitt Romney actually came up and like made his own money, which I really respect. But what I was getting at was that when Joe Biden then after that debated Paul Ryan is like a brilliant dude. Paul Ryan's like a policy wonk, like really smart
and ripped.
Yeah, he's ripped.
Cut like a motherfucker.
Yeah, he is. He's like so like
you saw those? Didn't you ever see those?
No, I never saw those.
Yeah, he's like, what do they call P90X or whatever?
Yeah, he did P90X.
Yeah, that was like his thing. So anyway, Paul Ryan's like a real smart suburban Wisconsin congressman, policy wonk, numbers dude, like really, really, really smart. And I remember going to Greg, I'm like, he is going to fucking rip Biden apart. It is like going to be, I remember going to being like, it's going to be an embarrassment for Biden. And Biden held, like it was, in my opinion, a tie.
Really?
And Biden was probably even a little bit better than Ryan. And I was like, wow. And that showed me like Biden's a survivor, man. Like Biden is a fucking politician.
How long has he been in politics for?
Like 40 years.
Yeah.
But Biden like has that blue collar charm. Like you want to like him, like all these kinds of things. So he's kind of a dark horse, I think, to run for president in 2016.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's going to run. I
think he's too old though.
He just bided his time.
He's just,
is that where you went with it?
No, there was a huge piece in Politico a few weeks ago about how like all these people talking like off the record about how he's going to run.
Guns on this kid.
That dude's yacked. Good for him, man. If I were in the public eye at all, like if there was like a show that we did every week that required me to be on camera, I would look exactly like that. I would be just so yo.
Today we're driving home, and a guy crosses the crosswalk, and Tim goes, I could be that guy, Greg. And there was two guys in the crosswalk. One, a good-looking dude in a shirt and some sunglasses, and then another guy in a backpack eating a candy bar. And I'm like, which one? He's like, the guy in the gray. And I'm like, you already look like that. But he's like, no, if I worked out a little bit, dude, that's what I would look like.
He was like super ripped. I thought you were going to go with how quick our order was today.
Oh, I don't even want. You want to get started on that? You want to talk about the difference with Nick Scarpino not rolling with us? Call underdogs. I'm like, yeah, we need these burritos. All right, bye, done. No manager involvement to get you a side of lettuce and 3 sides of carne asada.
I'm just saying right now. Then if you don't work for it, it's not worth it.
It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Tim, your best friend in life, your man life mate, works out every day. He would get you so yacked out of your mind if you just went with him like twice a week.
I know.
So go. It's fun.
Yeah.
It releases endorphins. It makes you happier.
Yeah.
Then you look at yourself. You start taking those selfies, but your selfies go from selfies to what do they call them?
Swelfies.
Swelfies.
Yeah.
This is a thing?
That's a thing.
It's when you take selfies and you're super swole.
Oh, Jesus.
Swole's a thing that I learned from Alfredo.
Swole is a big thing.
Thanks, Alfredo.
You swole up.
Yeah.
All right.
Good talk, everyone.
Good amendments. I like that one, Colin. That was a really good one.
I'm more fascinated by the fact that you can pass amendments, but I just like the idea, by the way, like I love our system. No one really thinks about how beautiful the system is. Like we have a federal government that's way too powerful, more powerful than it was supposed to be. but like 50 governments that basically do whatever they want under like this system, and then like they can all just get together like they did in the revolution and just be like, hey, we want to meet and talk about things.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah, I like that, you know, and I like the idea of like if you don't like the taxes in one state, you go to the next state. If you don't like the gay marriage laws in one state, just go to the state where gay marriage is legal. You want an abortion, you can't have it in your state, well, go to the state. You know, it's like all these different permutations of things. You want marijuana legalization, go to Colorado or Washington.
That might be a good one too, so I can stop seeing those legalize it stickers. They're annoying. Legalize it, bro.
Well, we voted in 2010 and fucked that one up. So that was a bad year. See, 2010 was a Republican year. Conservatives are typically against the legalization of marijuana, and so that was voted down in the midterms. And again, we're voting again in 2014 for that. And I'm like, why don't you just wait until a presidential year when Democrats vote, and then you will pass it? It's going to get voted down again.
Yeah,
not enough people will be at the ballots.
There's a lot of
munchies.
There's a lot of Republicans in California. People don't appreciate how many Republicans are in the state.
We got Orange County. That messed it up for all of us.
In the middle of the country.
Tim.
Yes.
What's your topic?
My topic this week is the greatest toy of all time. Legos.
Love Legos.
Yes.
What? The greatest toy of all time.
Have you seen the Lego movie? I haven't seen it yet.
So that is what sparked this.
Okay.
I did see it last week.
How was it?
Excellent.
I
didn't think it was
better.
I didn't think it was gonna be bad. I thought it was gonna be super okay.
Lego movie or Frozen?
Frozen. That's not even a question. But going to the Legos.
I didn't even get the word out, and you already.
Frozen.
Well, we already knew what it's gonna be. It's like the biggest
Frozen
grossing movie of all time now, and it
Okay.
sucks.
Let it go, Tim. Let it go.
Thank you. I really like that one, Nick. But with the Lego movie, I saw the trailers.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm happy they're not going with the whole CG look that all the games do and stuff, which is cool. But like, I was like, oh man, they're doing the whole stop motion thing with actual Legos. Dope. I'm in it. Then watching the trailer, it's like, oh, a lot of the jokes aren't that. I mean, it's like, it's a kid movie.
Sure.
So I'm like, whatever. But I really liked Legos growing up, and I still do like Legos.
Yeah.
And if I had more free time, I would partake more in just Lego.
You'd play with
creations.
Legos.
Yes.
So I knew, so a lot of people, we come into work every Monday, and everyone's like, "What'd you see? Or what'd you do? What'd you play?" Right? And when the Lego movie came out, I didn't even think about seeing it. I was like, I'm not gonna see that movie. I'll probably watch it when it's on HBO or on Netflix, and when my wife goes to bed. But then when Mike Pereira,
Media Mike, Database Mike,
Michael Lobster on Twitter, I think he is, says to go see it, I take that with a lot of weight because his opinion matters to me.
It was so much better than the trailer. Mm-hmm. And I thought that it was going to be one of those things where all the funny jokes are in the trailer and all the like cameos and all the cool stuff is going to be in the trailer. And I was so wrong. Like the movie moves so quickly. The pace is amazing. It's like it's an hour and a half YouTube video. And I'm all about that.
Oh yeah.
Where it's just like, it's a mile a minute. Things are just happening. They're just throwing so much shit at you. And it was really fun. And there was a lot of just random cameos of like Shaquille O'Neal is in it. It's like, what?
Spoilers.
Didn't expect that. But it's like, it's fun. The movie continuously is fun. And there's a twist at the end. And I was like,
twist.
I'm not going to say the twist, but I was like, whoa, didn't see that coming. Very cool.
They're just Legos in a Toy Story.
They ended up being Mega Blocks.
But no, see that.
An autistic kid is playing with them.
Greg.
What?
I don't know.
That's the merging of the end of that one show.
Yeah. Where it was in a snow globe.
Yeah.
Whoa. What are you guys talking about? Seinfeld?
No, it's an 80s show.
Saint Elsewhere.
Yeah, Saint Elsewhere.
Saint Elsewhere.
Was all a kid, like, it was all an autistic kid playing with the snow globe. That was Saint Elsewhere.
Yeah.
At the end, it like pans out.
Yeah, that was
also
awesome.
the plot of Super Smash Brothers. It's not autistic, but it is just a kid playing with toys.
Is it?
That's cool though. So this reminds me a little bit of a movie that I just watched.
Is the kid the magic hands at the end?
Yes.
Is this
And the final
explained in
boss
a video at some point?
It's one of those things. I mean, yeah, the opening video of the N64 version. And in Brawl, the final boss
it's
battle
been
was the kid's father taking away his toys.
Okay.
Crazy.
God, Nintendo is so good.
Yeah, they're really great.
They're not bad at what they do.
It reminds you of a movie.
I just watched Wreck-It Ralph.
It's similar only in the fact that it's a bunch of cameos of things that we're familiar with.
Right, but I didn't dislike Wreck-It Ralph, but it was exactly what I had expected. I was like, cool movie.
Exactly.
Watched it.
It
Probably
was
not going to watch
super
it.
okay. My problem with Wreck-It Ralph was that trailer did give away
Yeah.
every single one of the video game cameos.
Which was sad because it was
which is
like
upsetting.
I like
This
all
Lego
the
thing
Zangiefs.
gave me a lot more.
Doesn't like that.
See, it's funny you bring that up because that like Frozen was Disney doing a Disney movie, right? Wreck-It Ralph was not. What the Lego movie though was just good. It was just a good movie. But that like even more than that though. This is about Legos. This is about the toys.
The best
talking about the toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's the reason the movie was so good was because it was just relatable. Just like because I grew up with the toys, loving them so much. And when I was younger, it was just there's the basic city set, and cops and all that stuff. And then there was also the themed sets.
Right.
You get the space, you get the castle, you get the pirates. And that was awesome. And then as I started getting a little bit older, it started turning into, the crazy underwater submarine things. And then the
Harry Potter
the insane ninjas. And then Star Wars.
Licensing started, yeah.
Badass.
And then Harry Potter. Now, Star Wars and Harry Potter were on a different level. Specifically Star Wars. Like those Lego sets were like stepping the game up. And it was a really, really cool thing. And it was the only licensed Legos. Like now everything is licensed. It's interesting to me.
I think that actually really brought Lego to the forefront. If I'm not mistaken, I think we talked about that, didn't we? At one point, were you saying something about that last week, where we're talking about how Lego was suffering for a while, and then the licenses were actually the thing that
that wouldn't be something I would say
pushed it super far.
Maybe
I read an article about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
You only know about
did Lego
AMP's
ever
rise
not
and
do
fall?
well?
I think. I mean, I don't know. I could be completely making.
They
this
kicked
up.
it in high gear, though.
All I know is this: I have a love-hate relationship with Lego. So when I was a kid, my brother bought all the Legos. Then he moved beyond wanting to play with Legos. Then he gave me the Legos, but it was a giant bin of like a bunch of different things all in one.
Yeah.
And I loved playing with them. Hated picking them up.
Oh, yeah.
Hated picking them up.
Oh, yeah, you got to use like a dustpan.
That was the worst.
Can't
I was
use it
like,
on
pick up your
carpet.
Legos, and I'm like,
And then here's the thing, and everyone is going to relate to this. You always leave a couple, but you don't know
and
until a week later when you step on it.
on those damn
and it
things.
is the worst. That
Barefoot.
That and when you need to take them apart, but they're too stuck, and
Right.
you're like, you got to do this, and then you put it in your mouth.
Yep, breaking teeth.
Oh my god, it's
You're
the
breaking teeth.
worst. And then they made the brick remover thing, and that was a life
What
changer.
Did you ever do the thing where you took multiple sets of Legos, you cannibalized them, and you made the one cool thing that you always wanted to be a Lego but never did?
Yeah, and it looks like a disaster.
Yeah.
Mine was an amazing Mach 5 from Speed Racer.
Good.
Remember the
nice.
Mach 5?
Yeah,
Of course.
I made that thing.
There is
and it
now
looked-
official Speed Racer. Legos.
Yes, I know there is. We're talking about the dark ages when before
Yep.
we had like television when I was a kid. You had to take Legos and actually like imagine that they were the color you wanted them to be.
Yes.
So mine looked like very much like the girl's car from Wreck-It Ralph.
Glitch.
That was like glitch. Yeah, it was just a complete nightmare. That's what everything I made in Legos looked like. My parents must have thought I was insane because I'd be like imagining the Mach 5,
Yeah.
but it would look like a freaking. It looked probably closer to the TMNT like van than it did the actual Mach 5.
Yeah. That's awesome, though.
I haven't bought Legos in years, but the Ghostbusters Legos have me excited if they go through and actually make the firehouse. When they actually option
How
them
big
and
is the firehouse
show-
gonna be?
They haven't. I mean, like it was one of those things when they put out the debut things. We're doing Ghostbusters. They had a firehouse in the background. And people thought it was part of the set, but it turned out it was just the guys in the car.
Every time you talk about Ghostbusters, I just want to sing that.
I seen an angel sneaking up from behind. And I want to say, saving the day, saving the day. All right. When it gets to the point that it's driving you insane.
Just brings it back.
I'll tell you this about Legos.
As he pours himself
With a healthy pour.
healthy pour of bourbon.
So I had Legos when I was a kid. I really enjoyed them, but I didn't buy too many of the sets. But I used to buy some of the airplane sets sometimes, and then I would make the airships from Super Mario 3.
Yes.
Like really elaborate ones that it was actually pretty good. Like when I was
Okay.
like 6 or 7, using like the props and stuff like that, and like all like the wings, and just kind of make like a huge airship. And I would pretend it was from Mario 3. But I was actually more into building with like wooden blocks when I was a kid.
Lincoln Logs?
I was like absolutely obsessed with Lincoln Logs. Were one thing, but my dad actually like I had a set of like blocks, like a lot of them. My dad would actually make me blocks, like go buy wood and paint and like make blocks, like all these pieces of geometry and stuff.
That's
like that.
awesome.
And I would make these massive castles like in my living room that were like literally probably like as long, if not longer than this table, and then like probably like 4 feet, 5 feet high. And then I'd put my G.I. Joes on them and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But I was telling, like, when Cheryl and I go to Target or whatever, like another store where it's, you know, like there's toys, I always go to the Lego aisle because I'm like, Legos are so cool. And I actually, if I wish I had more money and more space, because I would buy Legos and build them.
They're fun.
Yeah.
Like, there's something super fun about them. I don't understand why they're so expensive. They are so fucking expensive. I don't get, like, and they get away with it. Obviously, people are buying them, but they are heinously expensive. Like, I don't even understand how they get off charging like as much as they do for this shit. Toys in general are just expensive. When I go look at Star Wars figures, or the new GI Joes are like $10 a piece. Like, are you fucking kidding me? GI Joes were like $350.
Yeah, action figure standard price now is $15.
God,
that's so
$15.
dumb. That's inflation.
And they're not even 6 inches. They're 4 inches now. They're all Star Wars sized. Get the fuck out of here.
I miss GI Joes. That was
Firefly.
That was my favorite. Arguably the best GI Joe.
Remember Zaymot or Tomax and Zaymot?
Every show end with us doing this.
No, because Colin brought up, he was like, hey, you know, we'd make things, and then inevitably the same thing would happen to me. Inevitably, whatever toy I was playing with was just to make a vehicle to get back to the GI Joes, because I had so many Joes. Like, my brother and I were addicted to buying Joes. We had to have every Joe. That, and then we had the Star Wars. I used to have the Darth Vader case that would open up,
and then
there'd be like 30 slots, and I would be like, one day I'm gonna fill all these slots. And I never did.
No,
I never did.
That's sad.
I had the C-3PO one.
There's something so
that was the other
special
one.
about action figures and like garage sales where you just get a bunch of random things. You don't even know what they are. Like, there's so much like random toys that I don't to this day know what they were from.
You just made the story
But
up
then
live, though.
you just make the story of like where they find this random guy,
Yeah.
or like taking them and like putting them in the cups of water and then putting them in the freezer and freezing it, and then they're like,
I remember
the carbonite.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh yeah, I used to do that.
So awesome.
I used to collect Marvel figures. I think we talked about this when I was like a kid. I had like probably 100 of them. I have no idea why, because I didn't read any of the comic books. But my friends
They were
into
cool
that.
figures.
Yeah, they were cool.
They were
So
rad,
I remember
yeah.
Iceman. I had Iceman, and he came like with his little, his board or whatever. Right? Yeah, and you would put the water in the board and then put it in the freezer and then take it out of the plastic and put it down. It would be like an actual piece of ice, and then he would actually slide around, which was kind of cool.
That's cool.
When I was back on Long Island in January for a wedding, me and my dad went into the basement. I started going through all my old shit. And it was like a total blast from the past, like stuff from when I was like in elementary school and middle school, like stuff that's just been long packed away. And I found a few of those random ass Marvel figures, like Archangel and Ahab and all these.
Cool.
And I was like, I'm like, man, I haven't touched these figures since probably like 1994, 1995. I'm like, this is so fucking cool.
That's really cool.
You got to bring those back. I'm telling you right now.
My GI Joes. I showed you the picture when I dumped all my GI Joes out. Like they're just. I have like 300 and something.
You got to get those. You got to get those cataloged and in a cool carrying case. So all of it, and we'll just put them on the wall, right behind Greg's.
Yeah, I have all the weapons in like huge coffee cans, like old metal coffee cans. I have all my backpacks and my guns. The guns are separated by pistols and machine guns.
Do you think
Such a fucking nerd kid.
when you were a kid, it always amazed me because I knew every gun that went with every figure, and like I could, if I wanted to, like I'd swap and then I'd have the characters fight to get the gun back.
Yeah.
It was really weird stuff.
And sometimes you'd put the gun in the figure's hand that didn't fit, and you would and then break their thumb off, which was the fucking worst.
There were so many instances where I ended up gluing my fingers together with super glue because I'd try to fix something, and it would just be. I was not very coordinated. It's still not very coordinated as a human being.
So one thing that I've never figured out, and this is me and my friend constantly go back and forth on this, is the Marvel figures that come with an arm or a head or a leg of Apocalypse or one of the bigger characters.
It's a good idea.
Brilliant idea.
It is brilliant. It's like, it makes you want to buy the 4 others. But you never see them all together, and it's as if they don't release them at the same time.
You're talking about like currently? What they do currently?
They've always done this though.
Well, I mean, that's the wave thing, and like you figured, like this is the whole thing that boxes. You get like whatever you buy. You get one box that had 9 toys in it, and the manufacturer would be that 7 of those were the Turtles, 1 of them was a Shredder, and 1 of them was an April O'Neil. You remember how hard it was to find an April O'Neil? Like that's just supply and demand. I remember finding April O'Neil when my grandmother took me to Venture.
I mean,
and
that makes
flipping
sense.
the fuck out and trying to explain to her. I'm like, I know you weren't gonna buy me anything today, but like you don't understand how hard this is. You have to buy it, and she bought it.
If anyone has a Green Ranger power toy, everyone claims, "Oh yeah, I have one." Take a picture and send it to me. I have never seen any single person with a Green Ranger.
Really?
Ever.
I remember when Power Rangers blew up and you couldn't find them anywhere.
Ever. Man.
I remember the same thing when Ninja Turtles came out. I could not find Leonardo. Like I could not find him for the life of me.
April was the hard one.
I had Raph, I had Michelangelo, I had April. Because I remember distinctly that she had some weird stance, or she was like some bowling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was really weird.
Well, they always do that with the girl
I had
action
Splinter.
figures.
I never got Shredder though.
Splinter.
Isn't that Leo or Raphael? Yeah, it's Leo.
I think it was.
But yeah, I didn't understand that as a kid why some toys were harder to find until I got to be a teenager and I was an even bigger loser and I was hunting down like Total Justice action figures or whatever and Justice League and DC, and so I'd get to Toys R Us and climb up on shelves and get the boxes down and then open them up, and then it was like, oh right.
There was a website for Star Wars figures. I think it still exists, called Rebel Scum. This is like a legitimate like huge. There was another one called the Yak Face, but Rebel Scum was like the one, and they would have like, these are the 3 boxes for this wave of characters or these wave, and like this is and like look at the numbers on the side of the box, and this is how many of them are like how many of each figure in there, and then like rip the box open and it's like this part of the box and you can pull it out. That's or whatever.
Hardcore.
Because like I used to like when Star Wars figures came out, Lando, Leia, and the Stormtrooper were really, really impossible to find. And I found all 3 of them eventually. I remember I went to Toys R Us when I lived in New Hampshire, and a guy was like got to the aisle like 10 seconds before me, had a Lando in his hand. And I was like, fuck!
Yeah.
Like I couldn't find that shit. It's weird like they don't make all of them the same, especially Lando.
Which is funny because you were like,
Lando's the man.
Yeah, he was badass. Traitor. Lando didn't have enough screen time. I'm putting that out there. I could have done like another half hour of Lando.
Half an hour.
Movie.
I'm sure that footage exists somewhere and will be released on
He was a badass.
Blu-ray soon.
He gets a cameo in a Lego movie.
Does he?
Yeah, he does.
Don't spoil this for me.
I'm trying to
You're
get
never
you to watch it.
You
gonna watch it.
You missed the chance to see
No,
it. Tell me the ending.
Don't tell me.
I'm not.
By the way, Nick, real quick before we move on, do you remember a G.I. Joe called Frag Viper?
No. That sounds awesome.
So Frag Viper was a grenade viper. And before I show it to you, the reason I liked him is because we were talking about all the guns and all the shit and like paraphernalia he came with. He came with a backpack that you could put like 2 grenades on. So like there was like these 2 pegs, and then he had like a wire that like would go from his backpack to his mask so he can breathe. Then he came with a claw, and you put like the 3rd grenade in it, and you can throw the grenade with it. No. And then he had a machine gun. Yeah, you don't remember? This is like one of my favorite G.I. Joes. I was just curious if you remember.
Oh no, I've never seen that. That's really cool.
That might be like 1989.
Does he have like a
Ghostbusters 2?
No, it looks like he's got a highlight hand.
Yeah, it's exactly
so he
what
can like highlight throw the grenade.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
G.I. Joes are the fucking best.
They were the best.
They were the fucking best.
Somehow
the
Lego
best.
became G.I. Joe.
Oh yeah,
because Lego is top 5 best toys of all time.
Top.
I think G.I. Joe is
1,000%. That's
it
not
out
even a question.
just a little bit.
No,
because
dude, the new G.I. Joes are so cool. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at. There's a Frag
Now
Viper.
there's a new Frag Viper
in 2013. But it's cool. You know, like how they used to have the knives on their legs, or the gun on their legs, or things that were just there for decoration. Like now you can take the knife out and like the gun out. Like it's so fucking cool. Look at him now.
All the points of
I'm
articulation.
such a fan of articulation. I was just about to say, like the McFarlane toys are kind of what revolutionized
really
that
Yeah.
in the 90s, and like, man, that was just the game changer. When
I
you
remember
get
the first
I wanna buy
Spider-Man I got that had like all the
Spider-Man.
little parts, and you
Yeah.
can make them pose like the
so
covers and
cool.
stuff. Yeah,
how come
And,
Spawn's not big anymore?
because people got over
mid
him.
90s.
He was new. He was new. That's why he was hot.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it's hell and it's this and it's this.
He's the anti-hero, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Spawn's very indicative of the mid 90s to me.
Yeah.
But I still don't understand these. You buy the action figures and it comes with the parts. Like, what's the strategy there of the waves when if people want it all, wouldn't you want them to buy more at once from a business perspective?
Well, you keep them on the hook.
Scarcity. Scarcity is good.
But it's
Keep
like,
them on the hook. Keep them talking about it. When's this coming? When's that coming? Oh my god, I can't wait for this. Blah
I
blah.
guess that's right.
Yeah, scarcity creates an artificial demand.
Put out some Hawk and Dove action figures nobody wants. Include that shit.
Yeah.
Hawk and
Yeah.
Dove, man.
The worst.
That's the truth.
Nick,
Greg.
what do you got for me?
So we're all pretty confident in our masculinity, yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like we can finally broach this subject with our audience. This
I wouldn't
topic,
say I'm confident in my masculinity.
you're confident in your well, I say confident in your sexuality,
Oh,
actually,
yeah,
is what I
yes.
meant to say. Masculinity, none of us are tipping the old masculinity scale that far.
I'm confident in them all.
At like
Look at this big wiener I got.
Yeah.
At like a
got 2
Rowan
wieners.
Stone, tweets, guys, who are your man crushes?
Mm.
And I think about this a lot because I don't think about it because necessarily, I have a crush on other men, but I do envy the success and the popularity of a few men in particular. And one of them is Daniel Craig. We've talked about him a lot. If we haven't,
I thought Christmas only came once a year.
no, that was the Pierce Brosnan movie, but that's okay. You gonna go for another one?
I want to have sex with this Mohawk girl. She has a tattoo.
Roger Moore.
No, that was the girl with the dragon tattoo. Anyways,
Whatever. Daniel Craig is he's an idol of mine because he's a Bond, and I think he's a very good Bond. And then I finally realized that the other two of my man crushes also could be amazing James Bonds. Michael Fassbender is one of them.
Oh, I'm an X-Men.
And Idris Elba.
I'm Thor's bitch guy who looks at the fucking galaxy. I suck.
That dude was awesome in that movie.
I stand there and I guard. I watched Thor 2 the other day finally.
No.
No, I didn't like Thor 1. I had fun with both these dumb movies.
Yeah,
but they were both dumb
So
movies.
I enjoyed Thor 1 way more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
It's not the best movie ever, but I went into it like, I hate Thor. This is going to be stupid. And I was like, oh, I don't hate him that much.
Yeah.
Haven't seen 2 yet.
Thor, it's fine. It's more Thor.
fine.
I feel like I need to see it before I see the one I actually care about, which is Captain America 2.
Maybe. But I don't think there's too much. There's not too much Avengers stuff tied in with Thor 2.
Yeah. What else?
Thor 2 was cool. I mean, that's the thing about Thor. Like, I like Chris Hemsworth. He's another one of my man crushes. I feel like when Sean Finnegan tells a story of when we saw Thor 2 together, and when he took his shirt off, there was 4 people in the theater that noticeably gasped. The 3 girls in front of me and me, because the dude is so yacked.
You have I'm going to say odd fascination with the male body.
I have yes.
It's
the male form.
Yes.
In general.
Yes.
Because it's so hard to look like that. If it were easy, whatever, I wouldn't care about it. But the fact that these guys have to live so regimented like lives, they have to eat like nothing but like whole grains and lean protein and just the right amount, and they have to do like 2 workouts a day, and they have to have 10 trainers and nutritionists, and like just to put themselves in these roles to look like that for the 6 to 8 weeks that they have to, and then immediately like they lose it and then they'll get it back as soon as they can. I just find that fascinating.
So another
that
one
work ethic is amazing.
Is what's his name? Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman is disgustingly
Jesus Christ.
yacked.
He's one of your dudes, right?
He's not a man crush of mine. No.
Really?
No. He was cool. Like I feel like I could hang with you, but like I'm not in awe of what the man represents. I like him. He's a very likable guy. He sings a lot.
The Hemsworth guys talked about it before. Like he's like, ugh, I don't like being Thor because I only eat chicken and eggs and all this stuff all the time.
He's just a lot of protein and just has to I think he has to work out like 3 to 4 hours a day or something like that.
Jesus Christ.
It's something ridiculous. No. But you do it, you lose it, and then you can get it back fast for the next role. But he'll say he even talks about how he was like, I just wasn't as big in the Avengers as I was. That first Thor, he was like, this is my breakout role.
He wasn't as swole.
He got if you look at the differences in his body, which I have looked at, and
in great detail,
insane detail. He didn't get as big for Avengers because he was like, I got this.
You have like printed out pictures with a magnifying glass.
He's got like that jeweler eyepiece thing.
Let's put it this way: Chris Hemsworth's body is to me what Lando Calrissian figure meant to you.
What is this body?
That's the body of a man who knows how to live.
Yeah,
that's the body of a man who doesn't cheat himself life's little pleasures.
Life's pleasures.
Yeah, right there. That's the body of a man that when asked, would you like a burrito or a cheeseburger burrito? You go cheeseburger.
I say both.
Can you put one into the other one and then put it into my mouth?
Yes.
Yeah, yesterday was like the most disgusting day of carne asada fries and a double cheeseburger.
Yeah, Greg and I were both eating double cheeseburgers that we shared carne asada fries.
So today
I did it. Struggling to breathe.
We went to Subway, and I keep seeing this commercial for the sandwich with the Fritos. And
oh, right, the diarrhea sandwich.
I gotta get it. So I got it. It's the chicken enchilada sandwich, and it has Fritos. I'm like, oh my god, disappointing because the Fritos were super stale.
Oh,
if they were like new Fritos, it would have been awesome. But I was happy with it though because it really tasted like a chicken enchilada. Really? And I gotta give them credit for that because there's a lot of time people say, oh, it's flavored this way.
Talking a lot of shit.
Not.
Tim.
So it's like I came for the Fritos, but I stayed for the enchilada.
Nice.
Small Fritos or the big Fritos?
The dip ones?
The scoop ones. The ones that you can basically take an entire jar of, or an entire one of those little bean dips. You can take the whole thing down to like 2.
Things are made a certain way, and then when you change it, it just doesn't. It's not right.
You can't throw the relationship off.
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
You don't do that either.
Yeah.
Is that what you were trying to say?
No. I was saying you gotta have the right ratio. You gotta keep the ratio of bean dip to Frito.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
That's it. That's one. Don't look Linda in the mouth at Portillo's in Bloomingdale.
Yeah, like 2-liter sodas. Can't even do it.
3 liter? Have you seen that?
Wait, what? You don't like 2 liters?
There's a 3-liter soda?
Yes.
Tim's got a picture of it.
I'm very excited about it.
I'm still confused. You don't like 2-liter sodas?
I hate 2-liter sodas.
Why?
They don't taste as good.
They taste good for the first 12 hours. then
Colin
you gotta
Moriarty,
throw.
yeah.
You
Colin
know, I
Moriarty
have a
tosses
whole
this shit
thing with
out.
this. I will not. I'll drink it. I'll crack a 2-liter open, and the next day it's no good to me.
You don't even
anymore.
put it in the fridge because you don't even care about it later on. Wow. We're not looking at a photo.
That's
of
a new
3
world,
soda.
man.
Yeah.
That thing's huge.
In Texas.
That's
That's
actually, it's
in
made
Texas,
bigger
yeah.
because Kara is holding it, and
She's
made
really
it-
small.
She's a tiny person.
But
Your girlfriend.
yes, but it's a 3-liter Coca-Cola, and I brought this bottle home with me
when I was
because I
empty or
Did you
with
really?
soda in it?
I
Okay.
did.
when I was in Europe
love it so
the first time, I saw the 1 liter. Like, they don't have 2 liters. They didn't have 2 liters when I went.
Oh, because they have normal.
because they have normal
portions?
portion sizes, and I was like, "What is this jip? This is a jip."
No, 1 liters are my favorite of bottles.
they're adorable. They're like this big.
Well, 1 liters are.
I'll put a
commonplace
1 liter
thing.
down with a
that?
fucking pizza in 2 seconds.
Yeah, 1 liters are.
Maybe it's the 1.5 liter I'm trying to talk about. Whatever.
Oh, they have those now, too.
They have one that looks like it fits in the 2-liter bottle. It's just half a. I think it's a 1 liter. It's not the normal like
20
you go-
ounce?
20 ounce.
Yeah,
And I hate that now there's a 16.9 ounce.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're
it's-
fucking getting out of control now. I don't like this shit.
Here's the question I have for Colin. This is something we've never talked about. There's been a recent trend. The soda I've known for years, the 2-liter.
Mm-hmm.
You drink it with your thing, whatever's left, you don't care about. It's fair game. I can drink it later because you're never going to touch it. What's been going on with you and pizza lately? You've been doing this thing where you eat pizza and then leave a quarter to a half of a pizza in a box
And then just leave
and
it.
then just leave it. Like
Yeah.
you fucking ran out of the house, but you're just in your back room.
Yeah, I just keep forgetting to put it away.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was something else where we've gotten to where you're like, I don't want to eat leftover pizza.
No, I like leftover pizza. Leftover
Okay.
pizza's fun. Now let me tell you this to get back to Nick's topic real quick. The man crush that I have is a random one, but it's been a long-standing man crush. You'll
Long
never
time
guess
coming.
it in a million years, but it's Robbie Williams. Now you know who Robbie Williams is?
Is he a
Singer.
hockey player.
He's a singer.
Okay.
He's a British
Beach
singer. He sings this song.
Ah, okay, yeah. That's enough. We're
I
gonna get
love that
strikes.
song.
And that's the cover of it, which I think is like the best cover ever because he's like looking.
Yeah.
This is the new millennium thing, right?
Yeah. But this is old. I mean, this is from the 90s, but this is what he looks like now.
It looks like a Tyroot.
He does look a little. He looks like a Latin Tyroot in that picture.
A Latin Tyroot.
A Latin
that's
kind
Tyroot?
of him.
Aye.
Just chilling, just doing his thing.
That's him.
So what is it? His music, his talent? What is it?
Well, I love Millennium. I think that song's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But
So that's
I just think he's so hot. Like he's just so hot. Now I'm a heterosexual man, but I've never been afraid to say when I think a man is attractive.
Yeah.
And that I think a man's sexy or whatever like that. That doesn't bother me at all. And that doesn't say anything about me. And if it did, I don't care. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Robbie Williams is fucking hot as hell. You know? And I like, it's not even in that way of like, I want to be with him. It's like you were saying, like, I want to be Robbie Williams. I want to be around Robbie Williams.
I
think if I was in Robbie Williams' entourage.
Yeah. That's it. Endgame.
Fucking kidding me?
Endgame.
The other man crush I have, and I tweeted about this not too long ago because I have a big man crush on him, and he's kind of the person du jour right now because of Cosmos. But going all the way back to Nova Science Now, which he's been on for years, which I watch every week.
I know where you're going with this.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is my man crush, not because he's a handsome man, it's a normal looking dude, but because of how fucking smart he is. So smart. Same reason why I'm in love with Carl Sagan. Because like they're just so fucking smart. Same reason I love Ken Burns and these like random ass dudes. It's because like I so envy your intellect.
You just want to be around him.
But for Robbie Williams,
Soak it up.
I don't understand how Robbie Williams doesn't just do whatever he wants whenever he wants.
Sure,
to do
he
it.
does. That song, by the way, features a Bond riff.
Does it?
Yeah. No. That. So he used the
Robbie
hook. He used the hook
Williams.
from "You Only Live Twice."
Where?
You only live twice. Then you do some other stuff. Look up the.
I don't think I've ever heard that song.
Look up
Bullshit,
the. Yes,
really?
you have.
No,
What were you
man.
doing in your fucking grade school?
I don't know, not that.
I love that video too. Everyone should go watch the video for Robbie Williams' Millennium because he's just so hot in that too. And
Just got that hot body.
And dude in that's a big deal now. What's his name? Levine.
Ken Levine?
No,
Adam Levine.
Adam Levine.
Ken Levine.
So good looking, Ken Levine.
from Maroon
Ken
5.
Levine's actually yacked. True story.
That dude's hot as hell too. But that dude's been hot not from Songs from Jane or Songs for Jane or whatever that first album was called. That's a good album and he looks good there. But that follow up record, where they're doing it's like the video on the airplane. I can't think.
I don't know
of
what the fuck we're talking about right now.
for Maroon 5. The Maroon
Thank
5
you.
singer.
Thank you. Bring me back to earth.
Right. He's just a really, really hot.
This Love?
No, that's
love is taking me down.
No, that's the album.
Guys,
Guys, we're gonna get
a copyright strike on our amazing.
We're
vocals.
too close. We're too close to the real thing.
Let's see. It's God, what is it? Makes me wonder.
No idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that song.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a jam.
It won't be soon before long. That was what that album was called. That's a great name.
Gotcha. Bill Murray.
Man crush.
Love Bill Murray. Well, I'll
hot.
buy anything from Bill Murray. Is that what it is? It has to be somebody who's hot?
I just said it wasn't hot.
Yeah. I like Bill Murray a lot.
Good.
I think we can define man crush as someone you have as sort of an obsession with. Not a bad obsession, just someone that you
I follow their work closely.
would want to potentially, maybe if the situation came about, maybe wear their face.
No, I don't do that.
I would.
No. That makes it
I have
simple.
sexual feelings for Robbie Williams.
Really?
Yeah.
He's the one man in the world that if
You'd
you
go
were
gay
like,
for him.
Yeah.
You'd
Absolutely.
do it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. I mean,
Love you, Robbie.
I support that. Robbie, if you're
I'm trying
watching,
to think who I'd go gay for. Who would
I
I
don't
do
know.
gay stuff
I don't know if I would do that for anybody.
Yeah.
Like, there's no one. My man crush, I would say the easy answer is Samuel L. Jackson.
What?
you used to have like a ridiculous fascination with Samuel.
I still do.
I went to Comic-Con one time. I was like, and you're like, dude, was Samuel L. there? And I'm like, what? Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I still haven't met him, and
cares?
I'm really upset about that.
You will
because
one day.
I feel like a lot of crazy things have happened in my life, but that's the one that I've always wanted to, and it hasn't yet. So that's upsetting.
It's your white
well, him
whale.
and Feeney. I don't have a man crush on
Feeney,
Feeney.
you could probably call up right
But
now.
hey,
and
there's
go
a
meet him.
connection here. So last night on Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see this?
No.
The entire internet tweeted at us. Thank you for that because it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Samuel L. Jackson comes out and did a slam poetry. Did you see this?
I saw the. I saw the links, but I didn't
watch
watch it.
He does a slam poetry. Just walks out, smokes, and does slam poetry about Boy Meets World.
Really?
Goes through the entire storyline.
That's your.
It is amazing.
So there's a movie called this is a walk. I'm taking a walk right now.
Here we go.
Bet it don't make sense. There's a movie called PCU where in one of the characters talks about the Kane Hackman theory, where at any given point on TV there's either a Kane or a Hackman movie on. That's your Kane Hackman. That's like that's your end paragraph to your thesis. Is Samuel L. Jackson talking about Boy Meets World?
It's just insane. Like it was really, really, really cool. And Samuel L. Jackson is just total badass. Like everything he does, I'm like, I love you.
He's king of the world right now.
He is him though.
He was in Coming to America, and it was badass in Coming to America.
Did he not?
That's Morgan
Snakes
Freeman.
on a plane?
No.
The best movie ever.
Wasn't he Mace Windu?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was not bad as Mace Windu. He had a purple lightsaber. He
went
got
out like a
George
bitch,
Lucas
but-
to give him a purple lightsaber.
Purple lightsaber. That was so weird.
He was
It's
so into it.
amazing.
That
He
was so
like,
weird.
Good for him, man. He deserved that purple lightsaber.
He's like, I want to do it, and George is like, in the history of Star Wars, no one's ever had a purple lightsaber. He's like, you're the man that makes it. Make it.
Yeah.
By the way, real quick, just because we're talking about this, I was reading on the shitter this week. Some people in our
Is that a site or you were just
no.
reading
Some
while you
people
poop?
in the office print out
right.
stories from
Yeah.
Grantland and all these places and then leave them in the bathroom. Thank God. So in the rare time that someone hadn't pissed all over the bathroom and you can actually use it, you can sit there and
Sorry,
read.
guys.
I was reading about some of the rumors about the new Star Wars movie, Episode 7. They were talking about how it takes place 30 years in the future or whatever. It's supposed to be like the kids of everyone and, Mara Jade or whatever and Luke's kids.
Sweet,
and apparently
sweet
the
love
Darth enemy in those late books uses a light whip. Did you know that?
No.
It's not a lightsaber, it's a whip.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh,
I saw
fucking
that.
get
But I
over
was
it,
just-
nerd burglar.
I kind of like that.
I don't know how that works.
Because, I remember being a kid, it's like, oh man, double-sided lightsaber, what's next? And the second one, Anakin has 2 lightsabers, and you're like, whoa.
Then the lightsaber bomb.
When's the
And
dual
then
double? And then
Grievous.
Grievous goes crazy. But like,
Grievous
a
had,
light
like,
whip?
9
You want
lightsabers.
to talk about a fucking jackass?
I'd
Maybe
be like,
sell Kenner toys.
Zero Suit Samus has a lightsaber whip.
She does have like a power whip, right?
Yeah.
What is it called? What do they call it? I'm
Zero
calling it the
suit
power
whip.
Made
whip.
up bullshit.
The
but-
Zero whip.
Yeah.
I don't know
But
if
Made up bullshit. I'm like
SLJ
that Star Wars stuff.
It's the truth.
no,
Star Wars is the truth.
But SLJ is definitely my like long-term love. But there's a lot of guys that are just like, I find I'm like, damn, you are an attractive man. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes.
JGL.
JGL
Pretty much the same person at this point.
They're not though, because Leonardo DiCaprio is. I love him acting. He's definitely
Growing
my
Pains
favorite.
was a seminal role.
100%.
Peaked.
No, something's eating Gilbert Grape. That was the better one.
What's eating Gilbert Grape?
Something's eating him.
What's
That's a
eating
sequel.
him? What's eating
Who's
him?
on first?
Thai food.
Something.
Okay, go on.
So Leonardo DiCaprio is really good looking, and he's really good at a lot of things.
Yeah, he is. He's a great.
But Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Justin Timberlake are in a different level to me,
Timby.
JT.
where the two of them
Truth.
are very good looking, so talented,
Unbelievably talented.
and super cool. If I had to choose to be one of them, I think it might have to be. Forever it would have been Justin Timberlake, but recently JGL's been stepping up his game.
Dude.
All of his this whole
Nightwing?
press record thing he's doing, he's really big in the whole YouTube space stuff, and the stuff he's doing there, the stuff he's doing on all the late night shows, killing it.
What's he doing late night shows?
He just goes and then he did I forgot which one it was. It must have been Fallon. He did Fallon. It was like a lip sync competition, and he just destroyed it. It was just so good. He's such a performer, and he's just so freaking adorable.
He's really good looking.
So yeah,
He's really good
He's
looking.
good. But my number one man crush though.
Can I guess?
Yes.
Macklemore.
Tommy the Green Ranger.
No.
Okay.
No.
I just wanted to mention that. You freaked out when you saw him in
Yes.
person.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
God,
not
it's
so
a
much
Green Ranger.
not a
Somebody
man
run out and
Casey
give me a Green
Jones.
Ranger toy.
No. It's
Give it
a
to
real
me.
Good
person.
guess.
Give it to me.
Han from the Fast and Furious
Oh
movies.
yeah.
Sung Kang,
Oh,
the
there's
actor,
Han Solo.
him too. Han Solo definitely gets a shout out. But Han from the Fast and Furious movies, God, he's the coolest. Everything about being cool is him.
Why do you think he's... Not that I'm not saying he's not cool.
Because he's the most intricate character in the entire damn series.
But okay, and you know I love Fast and Furious. God, everyone knows I love Fast and Furious. But
God,
it's-
how they know.
But it's not that hard to be the most intricate character in the Fast and Furious universe, because
Totally
most of the Fast and Furious characters are paper thin as far as motivation, development, character arc.
He's had a lot of development. The entire series
I'm going to throw this out
is
there.
around him.
This is generally how the Fast and Furious movies go. Hey, everything's cool. Uh-oh, everything's not cool anymore. Let's race. Now everything's cool again. That's all they do. And
That is
if you
not
look
true. You just described the first movie. There's 5 other movies, close now, soon to be 6.
very okay.
That are just
7.
What? 6 other movies.
Oh, 6 other movies.
Keep
Bad.
up, Nick.
Sorry.
That is just not even.
If we're
fair
talking about
description at all.
attractive men, I'm also going to go back to Nashville with Deacon Claiborne.
Oh, he's so good.
Such a good-looking
everyone
gentleman.
in Nashville, because they sing and they produce music.
Hayden.
Oh, Hayden Panettiere.
You realize, Colin, you're going to meet Hayden sooner rather than later.
We're going to introduce you to.
She's working on a video game. Worlds are colliding.
I like how Colin just perks up. Like, really?
Man, she's stunning.
She's
absolutely stunning.
when she was in Heroes, I was very smitten with her. Now, it was sad that Heroes didn't turn out the way we all had hoped.
Good.
Which was a very long-running series that we all could have enjoyed for years to come. Similar to Lost.
It's back, so what do I care?
Hopefully I was hoping they would drive it into the ground like the Lost guys did, but I didn't even get that. Wasn't able to do that. But Hayden was...
How are you hoping that's what would happen since Lost didn't exist yet?
I was joking, of course. I hate when they do that. Which is
Lost
why...
existed when Heroes was on.
Lost?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they were. Nope. I think Lost was before
Absolutely
Heroes.
positively did.
I think Lost was before Heroes.
Yeah, it did. Here, I was a senior. Lost started in 2004, right?
Mm-hmm.
Heroes was definitely on in 2007.
Let's look up
so,
Heroes.
Yeah, because I was dating a girl that was really into the show at that time. Yeah.
Save the cheerleader.
Save the world.
For what?
I don't know. I don't really give a shit, to be honest with you. I was so bored with that
You
show.
make it all gross.
Heroes was good, man. Milo Ventimiglia.
Sure.
Talking about Milo?
Yeah, what's
The
his name?
nurse?
You're gonna look it up. I'm telling you, Greg.
I'm going to look it up. You're right, everybody.
Heroes is like 05 to 07. Lost is 2004 to 2011.
Heroes 2006. Hold on.
Lost.
2004.
Lost. 2004.
That I know.
Give Greg
I
an
was-
Indian burn now because he doubted you.
Is that racist? Do kids still say that?
What, Indian burn?
Yeah.
I'm gonna still say it.
Don't do it hard. Don't do it hard.
Do it hard. Do it as hard as you can, you pussy.
That's all I want.
I heard your arm snap. You did it to me.
Wait, did you just break your elbow? What happened there?
I'm using my arms. That's what happened.
I'm using my arm.
I don't think something's racist just because it has the word Indian in it, by the way.
I wasn't saying it was or wasn't. I was wondering aloud.
I'm going to say this one more time, by the way. Okay? Native American is a term that some Indians like, but not a lot of Indians do. A lot of Indians want to be called Indians or American Indians. That's what they want to be called. I know that for a fact. You know? So we can stop with the whole... You know, if you want to be Native American, that's fine. We'll call you that. But the whole, like, Indian's a bad word thing is simply not true. There are plenty of tribes out there that want to be called Indians. So,
Tim.
There you go.
Yes.
See?
So it's just it's just, in other words, let's not get furious over something that doesn't exist. Yes.
I'm not. Okay.
No, not you. Just
in general,
out there.
the royal you.
Yeah.
But Tim, I got to be honest with you. I just out of all the actors in the Fast and Furious series, Han, I just don't. He's the least dynamic.
You were just trying to piss me off.
I'm just saying. No, I'm not. I'm legitimately arguing this point to you. Is that
no.
Vin Diesel has been in like a gazillion movies, including The Pacifier, which is a phenomenal film.
Right? He'd have helped those kids.
Han was a ninja assassin.
What was he, a ninja assassin?
A ninja or an assassin.
He does.
The main character. That movie was awesome, by the way.
It was.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah. So, again, the thing that's amazing about
Why do you
Han...
smell like pizza? Did you eat pizza tonight?
No, I ate a burrito. I burped like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
It smells like pizza. Is it like a delayed? Is it a delayed fuse? Was it like from 3 days
It's
ago?
probably predicting my next meal.
It's like it's really easy for that one too, because it's either burritos or pizza. Really not, or chicken wings. That's the 3 you get to choose between. Actually, sometimes we eat a salad, which impresses me. Until you put chicken wings on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Game Over Greggy show. Every week we gather around this table 5 best friends, sometimes 4 most of the time. Each of us bringing a random topic of conversation to the table, like the Ghostbusters music. You can get the MP3 every Friday for $1 at GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com. If you don't want to buy the whole thing for $1, you can wait for it to be free over on GameOverGreggy.com, our YouTube.com GameOverGreggy page. Over there, that's where we post a topic every day, each of one broken out. Then Friday, you get the whole video for free, so go enjoy that. Go buy t-shirts. We got that Oreo-gasm up. Got the Colin for President one. Game Over Greggy shirt that looks like this thing. Got new ones coming, right, Nick?
Couple new ones coming soon, very soon.
Very soon. This is our last chance to pimp our PAX panel. Make sure you come to our PAX panel. It's Sunday, I believe, in the Albatross Theater. But
who's
I'll
on
be
that
tweeting
panel?
that. It's going to be me, the pure one, Tim Gettys.
Yeah, one.
The Broken Age one, Tim Schafer.
That's amazing.
The zombie one, Jared Gertzens.
Yeah,
he's got one of those names I got to figure out how to pronounce before I get there. But he's a jerk. He'll roll with it. So come see us there.
That's fine.
There's a bunch of IGN stuff. There's a drink up on a Friday, followed by a GameScoop panel. Come to that. If you come to the Game Over Greggy panel, I didn't tell you guys this, by the way. You know the little bug we put on our YouTube thumbnails? The guy who does those PlayStation 4 light bars is making 500 of those for us to give away.
Oh, very cool.
That's cool.
So you can come
also, there are Let Tim Host shirts that I'm going to have at PAX. And I don't know how we're giving them out, but we're giving them away.
Sure.
Oh, that's fun, too.
Just letting people know. Follow my Twitter.
Just warning you.
And I'll let you know where to find them.
Can I have one?
No.
Maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
So as
You
always,
can't put one aside for me?
Mike
This is like a
Ransky's
Ransky
ordering
jump.
shirts.
Oh, it's a Ransky.
And I don't know what size are you, medium? If so, we're
I'm a
probably not going
large.
to get any mediums.
I'm a large.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
good. We're good on large.
I have broad shoulders.
Yeah.
And a huge stomach.
There's also Don't Let Tim Host shirts.
don't worry.
That's the one I
stupid.
want.
We're giving those away too.
I want that one.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Don't
I
worry
want
about
you
it.
They
to-
were
I'm
made.
taking it over.
He asked me which one I want. I'm like, I want the Let Tim host one. I'm not going to be stupid. There's an established hashtag here.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyways, there's lots going on, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you follow us all on Twitter. Keep watching the show. Keep downloading it. Thank you for your support. Buy a shirt.
I can't believe you know I love that you know the words to that song.
Now, how many times I listen to the Ghostbusters soundtrack?
Billions.